everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Knee Slappin' K-Pop podcast. This is a long-awaited season finale of the K-Pop company reviews. I'm Sammi, and with me today is Kayla.
Hello.
And Maria.
High pour 0.5, baby.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! So we have finally made it to the end of the big four. Ish. We're going to do our company review of Hybe Entertainment, Hybe Conglomerate, Hybe Corporation, whatever you want to call them.
Hybe
I don't
Inc.
know what the official...
Who's
Hybe
to say?
Incorporated.
They probably say the
I don't
official name
know.
on Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, also, before
Sure.
anyone comments, because I know this is a very, very common thing, we are aware that Hybe is not an entertainment agency. Hybe is the conglomerate that all of the entertainment agencies are under. However, they kind of do brand themselves as a company. They brand themselves together, thus we will be talking about them together.
Yep.
That is what we're going to do.
Many things happening here.
Because also I'm not in the mood to get into the specifics of business.
I don't give a shit
How
enough
do
about
you
business to care.
say Hybe Co. Ltd?
That's a business term that
That's
I don't care
that's
enough
just a
about to
business
learn.
Whatever
term.
the fuck Ltd means.
I think it's just
I should
like
know
that
this,
it-
but
I
I know
don't know.
I know
don't care.
core.
I
co
don't
has to
work
be
in corporate
corporation.
America, so
Yeah,
I can't
it's-
tell
I don't-
Whatever
you.
the fuck
Yeah, I don't-
Ltd is, that.
Yes, we are aware that it has all this, like, it's not even subsidiaries, it's just like a conglomerate that has a bunch of
Yes.
branches. We are aware. I don't care. We're talking
It's
about them
fine.
because they brand these groups. All of them are on the Hybe YouTube channel.
Yep.
Anyone on the Hybe YouTube channel
You're Hybe.
gets talked about. You're Hybe. That's
Here we
done. Hybe Labels, Hybe Conglomerate.
All the
Hybe everything.
platforms, Holding Ithaca Holdings
Everything.
and Co. Hybe
Oh,
Japan.
God. We will mention Ithaca Holdings. We are not going to go into deep.
No,
Look,
I can't
we will
talk
be-
about Scooter Braun
All
in
we're
detail.
all right.
Like, get the
We
fuck
have to
out of
talk-
here.
Okay, first, before we do anything, Kayla, would
We
you
gotta,
like to talk
we gotta address
about...
the elephant in the room first.
Not really. I mean, if
Not
you're
really.
watching on
Well, if
YouTube,
you're
you
watching
know.
the YouTube channel, then yes. But we recently have gotten a new logo and the new overlays
Yay.
for the podcast, which is very exciting.
They
This
look
is
so much
mostly
nicer.
because officially Dan and Lucas are no longer a part of the podcast.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
not due to any ill will between them or us. Both
No.
of them just really didn't like having a podcast because it's a lot of a time commitment, and
Yeah.
Lucas also doesn't listen to K-pop anymore, so he didn't really have anything left to contribute to any of our episodes.
Yeah.
And that
This
is just essentially it's gonna be just us three moving forward, which it has been the past year anyway.
Yeah.
We told them they can still come on the podcast anytime they want if they ever want to do anything, but officially
For
now
right
it is
now-
just the three of us.
Yep. We are still the Knee Slappin' K-Pop podcast,
Yes.
but it's just
We just
now
have a
the
new
little...
official logo, which we actually got designed by a person instead of the like Microsoft Paint one we had before.
I mean, we had to start
Hey.
off from somewhere, so.
We did.
Yep.
Before we
And we finally
decided,
decided
now
to
3 years into the podcast, that we would put some actual money into the podcast. So
Hey.
here we are.
Hey, look, we invested money into the podcast. The
Hey, I
podcast
put
has
in
yet
money
to
through this
return that money.
microphone.
We don't, yeah,
okay?
we do. True. We also got fancy microphones and whatever, but
Yeah.
like,
Better. I
we
don't
The
know.
don't,
podcast
we don't
has yet
gain
to-
anything from this
No,
podcast, but
absolutely
we are
not.
at least far enough into the hobby that we were like, let's invest some money into it, I guess.
Yeah, let's actually make this,
to make it
sound
look
and
like
nice.
something that we are more proud of.
Proud
So
of?
Here we are.
Fair
with the new
enough.
logo. It's very fun.
Yay.
We got them from people on Fiverr, who I guess I'll link in the description if anyone is interested in
Great
a
work.
podcast logo. But they did a
Great
great
work.
job.
I like it,
We love
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. But so yay, that's the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Now on to very specifics about how we're going to do this. Look, the way we are going to do this, we are going to talk about all the groups first under Big Hit. The pure Big Hit groups.
Yes.
The groups that we talk about through their whole career up until now.
Yes.
Then we are going to get into each group we're going to go in terms of company acquisition, i.e., when did Hybe buy this company, and only talk about what Hybe did with the group, i.e., we are only talking about what occurred post acquisition,
Yes.
not what occurred pre. We're not talking about these
Post-acquisition.
groups from debut. That will be when we do the separate company, whenever we talk about Source and Pledis and all of that. We don't care about that right now.
Yes.
That time doesn't, the pre-time doesn't exist
This
right
is
now.
Hybe only.
only the Hybe time. We only care about Hybe time.
Only Hybe time.
The other thing with Hybe is that, like, timelines are going to get a little funky. We are going to touch on Ithaca Holdings briefly.
Very briefly.
But nothing.
Briefly.
Very.
But, and then, like, acquisitions are confused. A lot of things are confusing. The other thing, this will probably, we are only, for people, this might be actually a decently popular episode because Hybe is a popular topic. The way we do things, we are not going to be talking about anything like a dating scandal. We touch on major scandals, and we touch about how we think the groups are being managed as a whole. Yes, K-pop companies are all inherently evil because all they care about is money. We're aware of that.
Cool.
We're comparing it to how evil are they compared to your average K-pop company.
Yep.
It's not that we think these people are good people.
Evil, probably.
All look, there is no ethical
major
consumption under
corporations are
capitalism.
Yeah.
evil.
All major corporations are evil. We're just comparing them to how evil they are in comparison to other major corporations. And as we've seen from doing, at this point, 12 episodes? 10 episodes?
11 episodes prior to this one.
11 episodes prior to this one, we're just comparing how evil they are and compared to 11 other companies.
Yes.
All these companies inherently,
Evil.
the nature of the K-pop industry is slightly abusive. If you're a K-pop fan,
Yeah.
you have had to come to terms with that the music you consume is made by people who are like,
I mean,
Probably not
spoiler
being
alert,
treated
the
the
music
best.
in the States, too.
the music in the
Sketch
States is
as
the same.
fuck,
The
too, as
music
well.
industry
That's
is
just kind of
inherently
the
abusive.
entire
We're aware of
entertainment
that.
industry as a whole, and like
Entertainment,
generally
media
anywhere.
industries,
Literally
yeah,
Yes.
anywhere.
shit.
So inherently, we are just taking what is happening to all these K-pop idols and seeing if it is happening worse or better or how they're managing these groups. That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That is the concept of this. Also, we can't go through every scandal. We only touch on major scandals. And two, let's be honest here. Dating scandals aren't scandals. We only talk about real scandals.
It's celebrity gossip.
Bullshit
We need to
scandals don't
frame it
mean-
as that. It is just celebrity gossip.
Celebrity gossip doesn't count.
I know, but a date, like finding out someone's dating someone else, celebrity
No, I'm
gossip.
just saying, to the people, like, celebrity gossip doesn't count for this list.
Yeah,
We don't put it in
exactly.
here.
We're not talking about celebrity gossip. Someone saying some other celebrities are dating is celebrity gossip. We're not talking about celebrity gossip.
Yep. All right. And also, the thing with this is that I want to point something out. Big Hit. One, it's probably the company that we are all most familiar with in terms of its full structure prior to this. Like, we're going to talk
yeah.
a lot more in depth about this company, and also very specifically about the management style, and like we're going to talk about minutia in this company that we didn't even that we never even spoke about in any other company. That's just because of our prior knowledge about it. We literally, me and Maria have coined ourselves this year the Hybe whores.
The
If
Hybe
that says
whores.
anything.
It rhymes.
And that's a term of love.
Yeah, I mean, at
That's a
this
term
point,
of
it's
love.
like the one company that I like can. Well,
Look, we're
corporation
not a
that I
stan
know
of any-
inside out at this
Yeah.
point, upside
Yeah.
down, inside
Look,
out. It's like,
And I maintain
fucked.
this.
yeah,
I've always said this. Company stands it's not a good thing.
no,
I don't even
I
consider
don't
myself a
advocate
company
for
stand.
it.
However,
I try
if
to
I
check
was
myself
a
so I'm
company
not a
stand
stan.
to anything. Exactly. We have to actively remind ourselves of how evil corporations are because we just like Hybe. And Kayla's here too.
Well,
also here.
not that that's evil, but at the end of the day, the corporation and all
Then it's a
businesses are there to make
corporation. You
money.
cannot
It's there to
yeah,
make money so that
standing a
everyone in the company makes money so that we all can pay our taxes
Exactly.
and bills and shit,
And
you know?
mainly the fact of the inherent management of all companies is slightly abusive to the artist. You can be I am a extremely big fan of the groups under Hybe,
Yeah.
but I do not go as far to say that I am a Hybe corporation.
Hybe as a company,
Stan.
like no, it's
Company
like more so you.
stan.
It's more so you stand
That
the
is
groups
more-
in Hybe
yes.
rather than.
Oh
the
yeah, I
company.
care about the
we are
groups
Hybe,
more
yes.
than the company, but
Yes.
that's not
As
to say I don't
opposed to
like
many
reading
people
and
who
learning
are-
about the company and looking
as
into
opposed
stuff.
to many people who are quote unquote company stands who attempt to justify many of the bad things a company will do. That's really where I sort of defend our name of Hybe whores.
Yeah.
We're just really big fan of Hybe groups. It's just really easy to put them under an umbrella.
Just the way that Hybe Corp is producing the music and getting that shit done and making the groups, it just clicks for me.
Yep.
For whatever
Yep.
fucking reason. Did I ask for this? No. I wasn't planning on
Did I do
it
this
when
on
I heard
purpose?
that they were
Absolutely
making a
not.
conglomerate. No, but you know
Also,
what? That's
am
how
I-
shit happens, man.
Also, am I upset that they also bought my second favorite group? No. Was that my fault? No. Did it happen that way, and thus now
Very
like,
conveniently,
the
they
Hybe
bought your
collection-
second
Very
favorite group ever.
conveniently.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Like the best
So
convenience ever. It's
convenient.
like, well, I guess we're on the same team now. Fuck
Well,
it.
I guess look, if you watched, we did a how many Kayla and I did a K-pop collection video.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Where we just did our collection by company. By this point, I think I own over 100
The amount of
albums.
Hybe albums is a lot.
Because I have, like, when number 1 and number 2 and multiple others in my top 10 are in one company. And just the number 1 and number 2, which I, at one point, was buying multiple versions of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that adds up. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Alright. Well, there's a surprising not that much to get through because
Yeah.
Hybe was
Again,
literally
there would have
formed
been
in-
more had we decided to look at the back history of certain companies that were acquired by Hive. Look at you, Pledis Entertainment.
That will
But
be
that's a
for
whole episode
that's
of
a-
its entire day.
Look,
if we
the
go through
timeline
that.
here already has a lot of like things in parentheses, asterisks,
Yeah.
a whole lot
But
of
the
other
only
things.
the only thing
If I
that
gotta
does have the
back-catalog
backstory
that
to
shit
talk
too,
about
oof.
is Pledis, though. Of any of them, it's just
Source-
Pledis.
yeah,
But Pledis
Source-
needs its own episode. I feel like.
Yeah,
I
Pledis,
like
Pledis,
Pledis is too
Pledis when
much.
Pledis was just Pledis is not any relation to Hybe. Even
Not at
like
all.
nothing
And
about
also,
that. Yeah.
Pledis, when Pledis was just Pledis, has enough for its own episode.
So Pledis will
So
be its
to
own
add
episode.
it with the Hybe episode,
Or if
And
not
also,
its own
in
episode, at
theory-
least in combination
I
with
think
another
I think we
company.
put Pledis and Source together. Put
Yeah.
Hybe
because Source
together.
doesn't have that much.
Yeah.
In theory, Hybe could have been put in terms of the amount we actually have to talk about. This will actually I'm not even gonna say it's gonna be a short episode because we can go on Hybe tangents, and we have in our personal time very often.
It's ridiculous
for-
how
Also,
often
as
it
a
goes.
spoiler
Our
for
script
next year,
is-
the two of them have a whole Hybe Horrors month next year, and the
Hell
podcast
yeah.
schedule already lined up.
Woo!
Hive Horse
This is why we
Month.
call-
Hive Horse
Hybe
Month.
Horse Month.
Let's go, birthday
Do, do,
month.
do. Let's
I'm just
thrive.
saying.
But
Love it.
no, for the actual like length of our script, this might be the shortest one.
It is very short in comparison
But
to like
it's
other
also
big
just
three.
talking. It's also just talking about the fact that Hybe is formed in 2005.
Yeah.
Hybe is not even 20 years old yet, and Hybe is now in the talks with the big three. Many people will say, I've heard one of the worst takes on the internet, which is that that's disrespectful to the big three.
Nope.
Sorry, that's one of the worst takes on the internet, because by that logic... Because
Guess
I'm sorry.
what? The big three doesn't give a
The big
fuck.
three
At
has-
best, they
and
just
also
feel
the
like,
big-
oh shit, we got more competition.
And
motherfucker.
also, if I'm being honest, they're like, oh, the original big three. The original big three is not that. The original big three is not YG, JYP, and SM. The original big three definitely includes DSP.
yeah.
it's like DSP,
If you wanna go
JYP, and SM,
and
if
SM.
anything.
It doesn't include YG.
Exactly. Actually,
I'm just sa-
DSP in of its own is a very interesting episode.
Yeah, well, I think DSP was on
DSP is
our
also
list
on
for-
the list for
It's on
because
the
they
next-
were acquired
for
too
future.
recently.
because
But
they're briefly
yeah.
in the RBW episode, but
Yeah.
pre-RBW GSP
I'm
is
just
on the
saying
roster
that for people
reviews.
saying that it's that like you can't put Hybe on the same level because the big three has changed over the years. That's life. Companies ebb and flow, but the rise of Hybe to being essentially this is our season finale, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did it, and we're doing it with Hybe with a script that is actually very short in comparison.
It's only like over
It's a
little bit over a
page.
page, I think.
It's a little over a page, and a lot of it is just me having to explain things.
And like some of the mid-tier
That's it.
companies have scripts that are short, but it's definitely in comparison to like Yehua and like RBW even, the scripts were longer than this. Like
Yeah. It's just wild to think about. But honestly, a lot of it's also, I think this episode is going to devolve into a lot of us talking about the rise of Hybe and like how they've been able to do it pretty well
Yeah.
yeah.
for the amount of time it's been. Because really, yes, they were formed in 2005, but they really don't see this massive rise in popularity till, I would say, probably
10 years in
2015
to the company's existence?
2015.
Yeah.
If you really just want to go back to the beginning of their big group when they really start to actually see
Yeah.
like some growth, it's 2013 at the earliest.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the pre years.
Pre-years.
So,
Who
Kayla,
wants to
do you
do
want to go first?
Sure. So in 2007, we have 8-8 stylized number 8 spelled out the word 8.
I think it's just 8.
Yeah.
But it's stylized 8 and then the word 8.
8. Yep.
8
Unless the
numerical
8's pronounced
8.
like the 8, like the number 8 is pronounced
Korean
like
8?
not Sino-Korean 8, like just traditional Korean
Again, I
letter
have not.
8.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say this group's name out loud.
I don't
so
think
I
I
don't
have,
know.
so I've got nothing for you. But they are a vocal trio. If you're gonna know anyone from here, it's gonna be
There's
Lee
only
Hyun.
one.
Yep. In 2009, Lee Hyun, he will make a solo debut. He was recently in
Hybe Family Picnic?
Hybe Family
Hybe
Field Day. Yeah, with New West. It
And
was very fun.
the two members.
He's
That
like
was
the
cute.
Hybe,
The
the
old
Hybe
man,
grandpa,
and I loved him.
essentially.
I loved him. A lot of also my thing with him is that we've also consumed so much Hybe media.
We have.
So much. So we will just be also talking about a lot of our opinions on these groups. And we have more well-informed opinions on this company than any other one.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But in 2014, their contract expired, and only Lee Hyun will stay with the company. And he's still there
now.
Still there.
Thriving.
Doing ballads.
Just
Doing
vibing.
ballads,
ballad
living
things.
his, but like also just along for the Hybe
Showing up on the
ride.
variety
Yes.
shows.
Showing
just-
up on the variety shows with these children,
Yes,
but
yes.
also like having a good time and being like weirdly super funny.
Very
He
funny.
was a highlight on that show. That show was
He
great.
was great on that show.
If you don't know what we're talking about the Hybe family. I guess I don't know
Field
what it
Day.
was called. Field Day.
I forget the channel.
I
or
forgot what
it was a
company that it
YouTube.
was.
Yeah.
it was a YouTube channel. They do it. I think they've been doing it for a few other entertainment companies have been doing it,
Yeah.
but very specifically the Hybe one was so funny.
But that's it for him. He's also gonna debut in a duo with Changmin at 2 a.m., but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll
Or
get to that when we
next.
get there. Do you want to do 2 a.m.?
I'll
do
do-
it. Yeah, do you want to do it?
I'll
yeah.
do it. Yeah, so 2008, 2 a.m. actually so 2 a.m. has its whole 1 day,
Yep.
pre-debut shit.
Which we talked about.
2
in the
p.m. goes to
episode.
JYP. JYP just realizes, oh shit, we're too busy. So we're gonna put 2 a.m. and have them co-manage with Big Hit because Bon PD and JYP back in the day worked together a lot when it came to production and stuff like that. So they were on
It's
very
wild
good
to
terms.
me how many like friends Bang PD has.
Many friends.
Literally.
Like even
The
when
man
he was
has
just
so
like
many friends.
talking about, even when he was just a like
Just a
small
producer.
owner of these tiny little company that has a vocal trio, which we didn't even talk about their management because it's a vocal trio. Doesn't matter. And
Not as well.
he's doing shit with JYP. He has close ties to Source Music, which it hasn't done anything yet. But it's just like this man is like
close ties to
connected.
the guy who founded Source. Those two
Yeah.
are buddy.
Those two are very close buddy, and
Yeah.
originally were going to like merge, but that didn't work out. And almost thankfully, at early on, I think it was around like 2012, 2013 era, that those two companies were gonna merge. Didn't happen, obviously, but still.
Yeah, so basically, they become co-managed with JYP. In 2010, Changmin and Ihyun debuted as a duo called Home. And then 2013, Sulkwan, Jokwan, and Jinwoon switched their contracts back to JYP after their Big Hit contracts expired. And in 2015, Changmin's the only one that decides to renew with Big Hit, and then after that he leaves in 2018. Then that's the end of Home.
Essentially.
I will say, Joe Kwan did release music during that time as a soloist, and if you spot some of his early stages, I think what was it for Animal? Was it? You'll see
I
a
believe
very
so.
young trainee who eventually goes by J-Hope in the live performances.
Yeah.
Little baby
Yeah.
J-Hope.
Little baby
J-Hope.
J-Hope.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this in the JYP episode when we talked about the 2 p.m. managing.
confusing.
2 a.m. managing was obviously worse, but also I think it is because I think JYP just washed his hands of this group.
That and
He was
also
like,
I feel like that's
only-
it's
it's a
mostly
ballad
a
group.
JYP
It's also a ballad
issue.
group. They aren't
It's a
like
ballad
the traditional
group.
idol
It's a
group.
ballad group being like there will always be a constant comparison between 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. That is going to be a thing when when that's how these groups were formed. And you give one of them to JYP Entertainment and one of them to a no-name company that has a ballads trio.
Well, JYP is the
And
one who
that.
gives them to Big Hit.
That's what
so
I'm
it's
saying. Like
what are
JYP
what are
Which
washes
is
his
nice
hands
for
of
Big
this
Hit in
group
a
and
way to
never
be
get a
like,
chance.
okay, let's work on managing this group along with the
a
other
group,
one we have.
but also a group that they did not form that has music that is like we've seen what Bang PD produces. We've seen what Bang PD the songs that he like makes.
Yeah.
It's like antithetical to what 2 a.m. makes. Like this is
Well,
not
and 8
the
as
best
well.
match. Well, 8. The thing with 8 is that 8 are like a group of adult singers. Like this isn't a group that they formed either.
True.
Like, and it's also very different to manage like a vocal trio group as opposed to 8. This is a pure idol.
And like, yeah, 2 a.m. is a ballad group, but they were also formed side by side with 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yeah.
There will always be those comparisons there too, which I think is like already sets up 2 a.m. to be a little bit. Even if they were both under JYP, look at the music that they're giving 2 a.m. and look at the music they're giving 2 p.m. One of them is not set up for the best success when comparing them to each other.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know if I can even blame Big Hit for it.
No, I think that's a JYP related
Big Hit were
issue.
given the group, and I think they tried their best.
tried their
Hell,
best.
they let 3 of them go back to JYP. They let Joe Kwan do his solo. They released
Not
2
just
a.m.
that, but, like-
music. Chapman
and
was
also-
allowed to also do a duo for a while.
Which again, a choice of a
Like-
duo with those two. I'm just saying in terms of age is funny.
Yeah.
But the thing with it is also, I wouldn't say they're even for a ballad group, purely ballad group. People have heard of 2 a.m. People know who 2 a.m. could have been like known, forgotten no names. They're not the most poorly run. People do know about 2 a.m.
Well,
They
I
do.
feel like
2
people
a.m. did
are
have
only- I
songs.
feel like people only
I'm
know about
saying-
2 a.m. because they were formed with 2 p.m. Like, I feel
Yes,
like that is
but
the
I'm
only
also-
reason.
But
That
I'm
and
just
Joe
saying-
Kwan.
That and Joe Kwan, but
Yeah.
I'm also saying that 2 a.m. could have been more poorly run than it was. I do think they tried their best for what it was, for what they were given.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
I
also
mean-
think the main problems of them is the fact that JYP literally just got rid of them.
Yeah. I also do wonder how much, like, Big Hit even had, like, were they just present, like, here, take it, have a group. Like, how much time was there, like, between all of this? It just felt like a really,
Very confusing overall.
very confusing time for everyone. But everyone, I think, ended up happy in the end. And also, there doesn't seem to be any, like, no one has since come out and been like, we were the forgotten redheaded stepchildren.
Yeah.
Everything seems to have
I mean, they
turned
might have
out
felt
fine.
it, but they never
they
talked
might
about
have
it
felt
publicly.
it, but it wasn't felt it to the point of being like, hey, we're 15 years out. Let me be vindictive.
Because Joe Kwan seems like the person that if he was upset, he would have said
Yeah, he
something.
was
I mean, he
upset
was
he
a
was
trainee
gonna
for
say
what,
something.
10 years?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
something
like
stupid like
they've
that?
been quiet for a while. Like I do think that if there was something to be upset about,
We
they
would've
would have
heard-
said
like,
something
we would have heard.
by now. Like we would have heard it.
Yeah.
Now we have like the only, the big one that set a tone.
Well, this one
Yeah.
was, I would say, the big failure-ish.
Yeah, this
basically.
is truly, I think, the only failure. But it, again, we'll get to it, was not their fault. So in 2012, we have Glam, which was co-managed with Source Music, because at this point, Big Hit has still not made a group that is purely theirs. So in 2012, same year as debut, Trinity would leave the group. And then in 2014, Dahi and model Lee Ji-young blackmail actor Lee Byung-han with a compromising video. Dahi got 1 year of prison and the group obviously disbanded after that. So Glam, also, funnily enough, we mentioned it. If you go to Glam's XXO, Party XXO, you'll find a little baby Jimin. He's in that video. So we're just sprinkling little BTS references all throughout little all throughout.
Basically.
So the thing with glam is glam was...
Well, glam wasn't really doing much, too, when that whole Dahi blackmail situation happened,
Well, here's the thing with that. Glam had, like, 2 comebacks, I believe. 2, 3 comebacks. So they were being managed. They were getting comebacks, especially for the time being. And, again, very small company. They were essentially... It's hard to say, like, what the perception was of glam at the time, because glam has sort of become infamous.
They had such a short career as well.
They had such a short career, and also glam has become so infamous since then that, like, people have heard of glam, but that's only because either they know that it's the first big hit group, and also the blackmail situation, which is not something you hear every day.
No.
K-pop girl groups usually do not blackmail actors.
And it's honestly, now it's just kind of like a running joke that it's the reason, like, they haven't made a girl
big
group
hit
in
won't
so
make a girl
long
group.
because they were scarred with the first one they ever tried to make.
Yeah, so, like, it's
I mean, who really knows? But they also did this. It was co-managed with Source, so it was kind of like
who's to say? But what I'm saying is that, theoretically speaking, who's to say if, like, what the perception of glam was? Were they, like, super, super doo-goo? Were they just, like, middling? I don't know. But in terms of the management, they did... It's not that they were a one and done. They got some comebacks, and then they had to disband.
Oh, correction.
There was no other way to do it.
For Dahi, she got a 2-year suspended sentence instead of a 1-year prison sentence per the request of Lee Byung-hun. So, literally, Lee Byung-hun told the court to be like, you know what, don't put her in prison.
That's not on her Wikipedia page. People, update your Wikipedia pages.
They need to update the Wikipedia pages.
Update her Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Oh, I just did on the Big Hit Wikipedia page because I didn't care enough.
Damn.
I don't care. Look, to be honest with you, glam, we've talked about glam on the Scandal
Glam is also
Iceberg.
on the Scandal Iceberg,
We've talked about glam, we've mentioned glam a few times. Glam is like the infamous story.
Yep.
So I didn't really want to rehash it that much. But in terms of, like, management, I mean, I can't say anything about their management. They tried their best, but they have, like, you can tell this is a company with no money. But they're also
they did not have that
new
much money at the time. It was pretty obvious.
But it's a group being co-managed by 2 brand new companies that neither have money.
Yep.
So like,
I mean, that's what you're gonna get at that point.
They tried, and then you end up with a situation that, like, it's unfortunate for the other ones, but one person Glam was only a 5-member group to start. 1 leaves, and then 1 gets, like, sent to jail.
Yep.
Or suspended, but, like, 1 has the possibility of going to jail. There's only 3 of them left. I think
like,
it's
of course
that group
to
was
just
gonna
let
have to
that die.
disband. Like, it's an unfortunate situation, but
it's time to just let it go. Like,
I think it's time
to.
I think it's unfortunate for them, but it is what it is.
Yep.
And that is sort of like the thing with glam is, like, looking back with how Big Hit is now. That is such a like, oh, if you're really into K-pop, remember when that one Nugu company had that one member that, like, tried to blackmail somebody, and then it becomes the biggest company in K-pop.
Yep.
Of course.
I will tell you though, kind of hard to find their music. They don't really have their music on, like, Spotify or something like that.
I mean, let's be honest. Big Hit's not gonna invest the time, I don't think.
I don't think they are.
Not that they'll
really
make much money.
I mean,
off
also
bring
them back out in the open.
It's not gonna make enough money, and also if you're really that curious, it's all on YouTube.
Yep.
Sure.
Just look it up.
Yep.
It's fine. I don't think it's terrible. It's just fine. It's very girl group of that era.
Yeah,
that's like specific style, the electronic sound. So there wasn't really much special with the group, to be honest with you.
But also, I think they were just trying to make a group that, like, appealed to the, like, you don't usually go, you know, fully out of the box in a thing with your first group ever. I think they were just trying to make a group.
They're making a girl group.
They're making a group.
And then they were scarred for a little bit when the scandal happened, and so they're like, maybe we won't do this for a while.
Maybe we'll hold off for a second.
Yep.
And now we get to the big one.
Now we're on the big one, everybody.
All right,
which is what
the big
everyone
one.
is probably here for.
AKA the obvious winners of Rookie of the Year for the boys.
Yep, so we get BTS in 2013.
Yeah.
Obviously, their first ever, like, actual
Purely
idol
big
boy
hit
group. Yeah. Pure big hit, pure, like, idol boy group.
Yes. Yes.
So, don't have a lot of scandals for BTS. The only thing is,
I mean, the thing with BTS scandals is that, like, there are, like, you can find them, but none of them are
are
anything.
important.
The only one I can think of, and we'll get, like, you can go think, but I'm trying to find the year for it.
Yeah. So in 2015, is at the time I think still Rap Monster
Yes.
debut solo.
Yes.
Through
And then-
SoundCloud. It was
Yes.
a SoundCloud release.
Yes, yes. And then in 2015 we have like a little mini scandal where it's Jungkook he wasn't slapped by a manager, but a video got out where it looked like a manager was threatening to hit him. And then Big Hit released a statement pretty shortly after and then fired that manager. So
Yep.
took care of that really fast. And then in 2016 is when Suga solo debuts as August D. In 2018 is when J-Hope will solo debut with Hope World. And then now we get the present day stuff in 2020 where we're having the big military enlistment
Oh, saga.
debacle.
The saga.
Yeah,
The saga of
whole
that.
entire saga of how South Korea has made multiple laws in place. For a lot of it is BTS related, but also I know some of it is also to deal with Faker, who's like a League of Legends esports person. Because they're about how much they are allowed to delay their military service, essentially because of how much revenue they are bringing in South Korea as a company. But essentially, Hybe I think they're kind of fed up with it at this point and did not want to just sit around and wait for the Korean government to make a decision. So they announced that Jin is going to go into the military, and that'll be it. And then all of the rest of them will go into the military after him.
Because 4 of them are basically hitting that 28, 29 age.
Yeah.
So, like, they gotta go.
Jin would have to go
Jin goes
before, like,
first, yeah.
mid-December. Because at this point they can only defer till 30.
Yeah,
so
Jin will have
would
to
need
go,
by
then
mid-December.
Suga, and then
Yeah.
the 2, and then J-Hope and
Then
RM.
J-Hope, then RM.
And
but
then
the other
eventually
3 kind
the
of
other
have
3.
more time, but honestly it's probably better just to get them all
But
in.
also the other
in a row.
The 2 of them are 95, and like, well, V is almost basically born in 96. Like,
Almost.
he's
like the last. He
it's
had
like,
a couple hours.
Jungkook
Right.
will
He has a
obviously
couple
be
hours
the
in
last one, but like those
Yeah,
two,
but
they're
in
not too
terms of-
far behind, you know?
They're not, but I'm just saying they could defer it for another year or 2, but they probably will not, just to get all of them in and all of them out around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing with it is just generally speaking,
Jungkook
they
will
were
probably go in
originally
a little bit earlier.
The only thing with it is that they were supposed to be able to get one final definitive answer
Right.
Yeah.
in December through
Yeah.
the. I
And
think it's
then
the
Hybe
Ministry
was
of
like,
Tourism.
no,
It was like, no.
we're tired.
I
we're
think
tired of
also
this.
after all the we'll talk about it when we do a video we have planned for next year. But
What was
the
the whole
bullshit
thing
that
with
went
that
happened with the Busan concert.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
so
like
the
the
Busan
World
concert
Cup they were trying to do.
was with,
Jesus.
No, not the World Cup. It is the World Expo, which is even less
World
interesting than a
Expo,
World Cup.
Okay.
Yes.
That's even
Some
less
world
interesting
event
than a
where
World Cup.
they're like,
No, I'm
ooh.
saying if
Well,
it was
the
a World
South
Cup, I would
Korean
almost
government
understand more.
told Big Hit BTS is going to give a concert for this, but we're not going
For
to pay
free.
any money. For it.
BTS live streamed a full concert with it's one of the biggest concerts I've ever seen. It's massive. It looks expensive.
Oh yeah.
They did not get paid. They paid
No.
everybody else. Big Hit paid everybody. BTS was not paid a cent.
Nope.
Yeah,
for
I'd be
that.
pissed too, honestly.
Ridiculous.
It's like, are you
Ridiculous.
kidding me right now?
And also, they're just using them for clout.
Like at that point,
I
I'd be
think at
like,
that
even
point, they're
just
like,
a
I'm going to the
small amount of
military.
money, just like a charge, a
Even
small
just a
entry
thing.
fee, like
A little.
just to
No,
cover
they-
some costs.
I think the government didn't want to be viewed as paying for entertainment, but then at that point, don't ask for a concert.
Yeah.
Don't ask for a concert.
Like,
if you
are
want
you
the
shitting
Busan
me?
World Expo, pay BTS.
hmm
The only other scandal I can think of, and I cannot find a definitive date for it because, dear God, everyone and their mothers talked about it. Do you remember the RM N-word scandal? When was
Oh,
it? I cannot find a
yeah.
definitive date for it.
I think it was earlier on
It was
the.
really
That was
early.
early.
Like 2013
there's
or
people-
2014.
There's 2013. I'm getting mixed things of it.
Probably.
Might have been pre-debut, to be honest. It could have been pre-debut, but that is something that has been talked. It is one of the N-word scandals where everybody and their mother, anytime someone says something now, will bring it up when he has acknowledged it, apologized, and changed as a person. You cannot tell me RM
Young
former
RM
rap
listened to
monster
too much hip hop and didn't
is-
realize the context of the N word. Color me
especially in
shocked.
2013. But also, you cannot tell me that current RM, the man,
Wait,
is
Koreans back
racist.
then didn't realize what the N word meant in a country that's so
Look,
homogenous they
even-
wouldn't have
I'm
no
just gonna
fucking
be-
idea.
look,
what
Also,
shit.
I'm
there
even
are
gonna-
there are
I'm
current
gonna take
idols
it a
who have
step
not
far-
learned from their mistakes.
There are
honestly.
No,
current
there
idols that
definitely
are
aren't
and are
too, but it's
definitely
like
bad.
I'm
But
not
I'm
surprised.
going to. I'll go a step further, Maria. I'm going to
Ignorance
say,
is not surprising.
but no. I'm going to
Not
go a step further.
excusable, but not surprising.
I'm going to go a step further, Maria. I'm going to say, even if in the year 2013, even if he did know, maybe he shouldn't have said that word. Even I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a smart guy. Maybe he did know. You cannot tell me that the years after that, where he has acknowledged it and apologized, and then
And he
been
hasn't
the
done it again.
person that he is. And also just been the person that he is with the things he has said,
Oh, yeah.
things he has said publicly.
Yeah.
That he is still that person and that we need to hold
He's
that
not the
against
same
him
person.
10 years later.
He's not the same person. It's
He's
like-
not. And there are idols out there that have not learned. There are many idols that there have not learned.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, there are idols, like, that have done things, and there are idols that have not acknowledged that they did things and just ignore it. I think that there are many. It is just annoying that it is the one topic that keeps coming up. They bring it up every time you talk about him. They bring up anytime another
Because
idol
welcome
says
to the
that
internet,
word.
where they'll hold
Welcome to the
everyone else
internet.
that's famous has a public face accountable for even the smallest things that happen in their
But then,
past.
like,
but
another
then once
person
you put
will
the
get a-
spotlight on these anonymous hoes, they won't be accountable for any of the shit they fucking done, and then they cry.
Well,
when
no,
all the
I think
attention's
it's
on
also
them.
deflecting
There are definitely
I think
idols
it's
who still
deflecting
say
blame.
it this year, in the year 2022, who by this point probably should know better, some of them, so.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is like the only. And again, I think that Big Hit handled that situation quite well because unlike many companies who just ignore it and don't say anything, they didn't make excuses for it. He has since apologized
Yeah.
and acknowledged it for what it is, which I think is better than you can say for most people.
Oh yeah.
So in terms of this,
he has a
like,
new
I
album
like
coming
that-
out soon too.
he does.
Maybe by the
It's
time
gonna
this
be
is
great.
released.
Probably.
So
Probably.
I'm
I
excited
think
about that.
I don't know if we have a date yet at the time, but we're
The
recording. We're
second.
recording it real early.
December 2nd.
Oh yeah, so it'll
Yeah.
be definitely out by the
It
time
will be
this
out
is
by
released.
then. So
Good for him. Also, Jin's solo was so cute.
It's
Aw.
nice. It's very
I mean,
cute.
I think that the most interesting thing to talk about with BTS has been like the management angle, and honestly, I think they were managed like for. It's like
for all the
when
crazy
we were
stuff they
saying-
ended up doing and all the success, I think that
It's
Big
also,
Hit managed
like-
them as best as they could. you
And
know?
it's
yeah.
also like judging the management because we've talked about this before. It's like judging the management of HOT by SM. Like when you're making the book, like when you're writing out the map, like can you judge it if sometimes you make a little bit of a mistake? Like I don't know. Some people say there's a dip in quality in the music. I don't know. Again, I also think there's experimentation. Who know? The weird thing with BTS is I don't know how much of it is them trying things. It's Big Hit. It seems very much more intermingled with what the group wants to do and what they want to do themselves, as opposed to just what the company is pushing them to do.
Yeah.
That seems very.
Well, I also think the company's smart to
meshed
know
together.
clearly with them trying different things, it works well. So let's not fuck
Yeah.
up the vibe. You
yeah,
know?
but
if the
think
vibe
that-
works, don't fuck it up. Don't rock the
exactly.
boat.
But I also think Big Hit, unlike a lot of, because there are a lot of self-producing groups out there.
There are.
The thing with Big Hit is that I also find that they're able to have the nice balance of letting them do whatever the fuck they want, but also not saying yes to whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Because that is the big thing a lot of times with these self-producing groups is that they'll just say yes to everything. And sometimes people need guidance. People need a structure. You can't just say yes
And of
to
course, if you
everything.
say no to some of them, they might
And
be
if you
like,
say no to
"You're
something,
limiting
there's
my
reasons."
you don't support me." It's
But
like,
I also
well,
think that there's a lot of mutual respect between BTS and their company. I think that there's a this
And
has
I think
been,
that
like,
happens a
growing
lot
together.
often between a lot
Yeah.
of companies and their first group that is like the founding group of their
Yes.
company, as long as the company isn't like absolute garbage, like, Cube
Yeah.
or something. There is, I think, a lot of mutual respect between the groups who helped sort of establish a company.
well, at least Big Hit. Well, Big
Especially
Hit's
with
definitely not
BTS.
dumb
Yeah.
in knowing
No.
that this group made them
Especially
pretty
with
much. So we better be
BTS.
nice to them.
Especially with BTS, whereas BTS BTS is together, other than like the tailest end of glam, they are the only group between their debut and their rise to fame.
Yeah.
They're like 100% of the company's attention because they.
And then
they invested in this
Ehyun
group, and
is chilling somewhere in the
Ehyun
background.
is also there, but Ehyun by this point is been in this company for like 6 years and can kind of do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't need
They're
to,
not
like,
worried about wasting too much money on
they're not
Ehyun.
worried about
Yeah,
Ehyun.
it's
I
not
think
a problem.
But I also think that this is partially why Big Hit, especially at the time, probably held off on doing any other groups. They're like, well, okay, well, let's start off with this group. We're going to focus on them. And then they start to see this rise in popularity, and they're like, okay, let's put all of our attention into this. And I think that was a very smart move, not to try to divide it and, like, super quickly when BTS is getting big in, like, 2015, 2016, try to debut another group.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a very good idea for them
Although
to
they
hold
were
off a
also
little bit.
smart to planning ahead as well. You know?
It is, but I do think that holding off for like those, not holding off forever, but hold it like because BTS is going to the military now, and they've already had groups established for a couple years. They're not trying right now to debut 15 people, but like holding off for like those 3 years, like hold off a little bit and then debut somebody. Let's give BTS our 100% attention.
Yeah.
I think it helped. I think it really helped.
Oh yeah.
It definitely did, because I don't. As a company, also being very new and very small still, I don't think they really knew
They didn't have the
enough about the
resources.
K-pop industry to be able to juggle 2 groups at once at that point too. So the fact
Yeah.
that they did wait like 6 years before TXT even came in the picture, like I think that was
Yeah.
good. Also,
I mean,
I want to bring something up because this is a thing I've always seen with the just thousands of articles that are written on the BTS military enlistment this
Mhm.
year.
By who though?
Not just,
the
just
Western?
No, just everybody. A lot of Western
Okay.
places specifically. It's like, yes, BTS has brought in the South Korean economy a lot of money.
That is true.
South Korea as a
BTS will
company
not crash
will not,
their economy.
South Korea will be fine without BTS actively.
And also,
like
They
in the
still
entertainment
have the
industry.
K-drama scene. They have Korean Beauty. They have
Let's just talk about
marketing.
let's just talk about Samsung and
yeah.
Hyundai from South Korea. as
Yeah,
well.
Samsung
like, not
is
gonna
big.
crash the
LG,
Korean
economy.
Hyundai, Kia.
Also-
like,
also,
come
I
on.
think less people care about the South Korean economy. Also, to piggyback on that, to get back onto Hybe, this will also not crash Hybe Entertainment.
No.
Hybe Entertainment, Hybe conglomerate, Hybe Labels or whatever, has planned for this. They have some of the most successful groups out right now. Look at album sales. They're gonna be fine. They're also gonna be like everyone that's panicking. Relax.
Relax. Like,
Everything's
yes,
gonna
BTS
be
has
fine.
contributed to the economy and to Hybe a lot. Both the South Korean economy as a whole will be fine.
We'll be fine.
Hybe conglomerate will be fine.
We'll be fine.
Like, we need to stop. We need to stop.
What the government is now worried about more so is one, they've lost a very impeccable and very smart soft power initiative. Like, you can just parade BTS out for
Yeah.
a fucking free
It's a
Busan
very
concert
easy
and people
soft
look.
power.
Yeah.
It's an easy
It's like
soft power
here's
for
our
them.
token soft
But
power.
also they were just humiliated
They were.
by BTS, which
True.
I think is hilarious.
I think it's.
I
okay,
love
I think
that.
It's
I
fantastic
approve.
that happened.
I love that because like they're like, you have my fate in your hands, but honestly, I
But
don't care.
we're not
they
gonna
took
let
the power
you
back.
figure it out.
Bravo.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bravo to BTS for that, because honestly, I think BTS always intended to serve. I
Yeah.
think that, and now they won. I think that if they
If
were
you
to
see
get the
previous
exemption and
scandal icebergs, you
Yes.
know that there have been consequences to people who have attempted to skip service. So
And the thing with
I
it is
think
that,
they were
like, I don't
planning on
think there
doing
would
it
have
from
been-
the get-go.
here's the thing. I also don't think that like they would have ever gotten like in legal trouble for it, but I think that one, all right, say the government does give them an exemption. One, they take it and people view them negatively because they're trying, there are always going to be some people that are like, oh, they didn't do it. And two, they don't take it. They're seen as ungrateful.
Yeah.
I also think BTS wants a break.
Yeah.
I think
This-
BTS
They
has
need that.
for years
I mean, it
wanted
wouldn't be a
break.
full-on break because you're doing a lot of physical training and shit,
But
but at
you're
least it's a
not-
break
But
from
you're not,
the outside
you're not
world
in
in a way.
constant media attention
Yeah.
every single day. of
You're
your life.
100%
separated. You're in a
front of a
specific
camera.
group. You're
Yeah.
you're going to be treated
Honestly,
like
I
everyone
think BTS
else.
will view this as a vacation.
Also-
Yeah.
I do
also-
not think BTS will be active duty.
Oh yeah. Also, even
Yeah.
if they
I do
are
not
active
think that.
duty, they're not in active duty, really. Like, also
One,
the
yeah, they're
Western
not going
media
to a
doesn't
war zone.
understand that South Korea is not like actively
actively
at war. Yeah.
But also, can you understand the security risk? Even if South Korea goes into active war tomorrow, do you know the amount of people that would go out there before BTS simply because of the amount of security risk it would be to have a worldwide international celebrity on the front lines? This isn't Elvis in World War II, people.
Yeah.
Relax. Or Vietnam or whatever,
Oh,
sorry.
geez,
Also,
yeah, that's right.
also, that is also
not
very
that.
common for people to serve as what's the other option? That's like where you're a conscripted police officer or something like that. Yeah.
Or, like, give them a desk job for 2 years.
Right.
Like, they could be active duty military, but, like,
Could
desk
I
also
thought I
job.
saw
But
something
I
that came out about what Jim was planning on doing in the
I forget, but I
military.
know there was, but I don't know if that was, like, official or because I've been seeing, like, 18 articles and, like, none of them.
But yes, the
None of them are
Western,
quoting
the Western
anybody.
media do not understand how the military service in South Korea works.
No,
at
because
all.
we
No
never had a
understanding of
mandatory
it.
military service.
But also, no one is deciding to. But also, you're a news source. Explain it.
Yeah.
You would
Just-
think you would
you-
look into it
Google.
even a little
You can
bit.
Google. Just Wikipedia it for all I care. Just do something. I just think that, like, it's all hysterics. I think that Big Hit was also extremely smart with how they have done their expansion, and we'll get to it. Preparing for this.
Yep.
Big Hit is able to think pretty long term about preparing for what's going on. And, like, I think BTS, they all re-signed. They all seem happy.
They re-signed for
they're all-
another 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Another
you know how
7 years.
rare that is?
That's rare.
Usually contract extensions are for 3, maybe 4. That contract extension will take them well beyond military enlistment.
Yeah.
They'll be back and you will get a comeback from BTS.
Maybe they'll do another.
Maybe they'll do another
or maybe
extension
not.
after
Who
that. But
fucking
who
knows what they're gonna do?
But at the very least, we are getting BTS for a full 14 years.
Yes.
And that's not normal. At least for extensions. Extensions are
yes.
usually only 3 years. They're not for, like, doubling your contract period.
Yeah, that's insane. 7 freaking years.
Good for them. All right.
To move
So
on
now
to
we start.
Big
Now we
Hits-
start essentially the rapid fire.
All right, rapid fire. Is it my
So in
turn, or-
2019, TXT debuts.
That's it.
Yep.
I don't
TXT
know what
debuted.
else to say. TXT has no scandals.
They debuted and
Just a
they
bunch of sweet
showed
boys.
that they are not a BTS clone.
Also, very, very quickly. I remember pre-debut TXT. Everybody was like, "This is gonna be BTS clones," and they're not that at all.
Not anywhere close to BTS clones.
Thankfully, good
but
for them.
also shows
They have
that
their
Hybe
own
was
sound.
smart and was already starting to prep trainees to try to expand the empire, if you will.
They're just
Big
sweet boys.
TXT.
They're just
Sweet boys, incredible
no
boys.
scandals,
Some of them,
just
honestly,
adorable.
also on a personal note, one of the best K-pop TikToks.
Yes,
K-pop
the
groups
their
with a
TikTok is so
Best
good.
one.
So
They
good.
have the best K-pop idol TikTok.
because it's a little bit unhinged and it's really great.
They are just these little Gen Z boys
Yes.
living their best lives, and I love all of them.
I am not on TikTok. I cannot comment on that, but I believe that
very
they
funny.
have the
best
energy.
one. They're so
so
fun.
entertaining.
I love them. Also, such a cute. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about TXT. They're just very done.
They're so
They're
good.
good.
Their music is
They
good.
have
It's not
such
BTS
good-
music. It's
We
just,
talked about
such-
how Hyunin Kai is just basically his little sister. If he had
Hey,
a
his
wig,
little sister is her.
I can't
his
look.
little
I
sister
cannot
looks like
look at
Bah,
either
he
of
is
them.
in
I cannot
Kepler.
look at either of them anymore
Without seeing the other one?
I mean, his
sibling.
oldest sister too, who was in a unknown Nugu idol
Yeah,
group,
she was in a real
Also,
new K-pop.
looks the same as him, so they all look
Looks
the
the
same.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
it's
Again,
very
the
similar.
genes are strong in that family.
They are.
But no, but like speaking about TXT, I have no complaints about how they're managing TXT.
None.
I think TXT especially has found their little niche where they're not pushing them in the US market, but they are just sort of letting it happen like BTS. Like
they're letting him do
The
like
fan
base is growing
Lollapalooza
the
and some
co-
other
which is the
concerts.
which is
correct
the correct
way
way
to
to do it.
Yeah.
Not the SM entertainment way, which is
It's fair.
very, very forced and very cash
I
grabby.
think-
And I feel
And I
like
also
they know
think
too
Big
that they're
Hit-
not going to be BTS big, so I think
Yeah.
it's like they're just
But I
going to do
also
the best
think-
they can with
I
it.
also
But,
think
like,
that
no other
Hybe is
group
aware
gonna
that
be
no
B-
group is going
No,
to be
BTS
yeah.
this big.
Yeah.
I think Hybe is aware that they hit the lottery and they're not delusional enough to think that they can hit
They
it
can
twice.
do it again. Yeah.
But also that they can manufacture it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna just make good K-pop groups. They're just gonna make groups that make music, and they're gonna see where it takes them. And TXT has been extremely successful. TXT does so well. TXT sells extremely well. TXT is always up there with some people's favorite groups. Maybe not everyone's favorite group, but like I feel like TXT has a very similar thing that SHINee has,
Yeah.
which is that no one ever says, "Oh, I hate SHINee." People are like, maybe not like, "Oh, I love everything SHINee," but they're like, "Oh, SHINee, they're good." I think TXT is gonna have that similar problem where they're
no one
like,
hates
"Oh, I like
TXT."
TXT." It's not a problem, but it's like, "Oh, I like TXT." No one hates TXT.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
yet to meet someone that's like, "No, TXT sucks."
Yeah.
Good for TXT. Also, they
Tomorrow
seem to
by
be like,
together.
much like BTS, where I feel like if they were bad people, we would know by this point. I think every
That or Hybe's really good at
Hybe-
doing blackmail on
blackmail, I don't
well,
know, but I feel
blackmail
like we would
on
know.
Dispatch from releasing anything about their artists.
Honestly, if you're blackmailing, like, there's always the
I'm just putting
line
a
of,
theory
like,
out there, 'cause
Hybe
anything's
is
possible,
paying
you know?
Dispatch not to reveal dating scandals. You know what?
I believe
Good for
it.
Hybe. If you're paying them not to release your dating scandals, good.
Or
like, you
release
should
if you're a
pay- you should
bitch
need
to your
pay them.
hairstylist or something. I don't know.
I don't know if that's how far they're going,
Just
but
the
I've always heard that
amount
they're
of
paying
scandals
against.
that you see from the other big three, though, is like you would feel like if something big was happening at Big Hit, like we would know about it by
And
now.
also, even they can't be paying everyone. Someone has to have, like, if there was a thing where they are like terrible people from any of the Big Hit groups, because at this point there is like a magnifying glass on all of them. If any of them were terrible people, I feel like we would know. Because I feel like there's a fucking magnifying glass. We find out very quickly about everybody else.
Yep.
True
I don't
that.
know. Maybe they're just really good at finding just some sweet kids.
Maybe well, for the most part, it seems like they vet people really well, so
Yeah.
Good for them.
for the most part.
Honestly, I think you have to. In the
Yeah.
social media age, you got to.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Honestly, I love-
speaking of
I
what
love
else happened in
TXT.
2019, Big Hit acquires Source Music. The conglomeration takeover begins. JK. But this isn't really surprising considering Big Hit and the Source Music guys are homies. He's clearly, Bon PD's doing better with his company. So he's like, let's take my homies' company in so they can still exist. Party. So
Right.
at the time, the only group Source Music had, well, besides the co-management of Glam, was
Which by this point
G-Friend
was dead.
or Yoja Chingu. At the time, since being acquired from, we're not talking about previous Yoja Chingu stuff or G-Friend stuff, they, under Big Hit, had 3 comebacks, Crossroads, Apple, and Mago. And in 2021, all 6 members decide to leave Source Music upon the end of their contracts, and the group officially disbands. Obviously, we find out more about what happens to them afterwards, but that's another story for another day.
That's a different company.
I mean, Big Hit just kind of let the group ride it out. It does, I will say,
Yeah.
the disbanded did seem kind of weird, though,
That's
because it
not
seemed
the
like
only
they
thing.
still
Is
had...
that
That's, like, the only
stand bit's
thing.
a little bit questionable, but
Yeah.
there is like
But also,
no actual
the thing
facts
with
as
it-
to what happened there.
There's no
Yeah.
facts, and also a lot of people are like, well, what if the girls wanted to resign? And I'm like, look, we don't know if it's that they were not offered a contract or that they were just not, they didn't want to resign. But either way, nobody was, I always heard the rumor that someone was kicked out. Nobody was kicked out.
From
they
what
just
VV's
either
had said on Queendom
contracts
too,
end.
they said that the 3 members of VV's had pretty different musical direction wants from
Yeah.
the other 3 members of G
The other
Friends,
3
from what they
members,
had
yeah.
said there. So
And honestly, 7 years. Like that's the risk that
Well, it was
happens.
more so 6, but because they debuted in 2014.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
but-
reason why people think it's weird is because it was not earlier than.
Yeah, it was
actual
only
Technically
6
7
years.
years.
So...
But
It wasn't
also, I think
actually.
that there was a lot of
And I
things
think
with,
I
like,
think they also
depends
had
on
test stuff
when.
planned out already in their schedule as a group
Yeah.
Yeah.
before that. So that's why people
But
were
that
kind of
could
like,
also
what the hell's
just be-
going on here?
But that could also just be people planning things out in the anticipation that everything continues to run as it has been.
True, but
Like,
know for sure.
who's to say? And like, Again,
they
also
did
don't
end the
know
group
how
on a good note.
acquisition-
Mago was a pretty solid
I
song.
enjoyed
I hate
Mago.
that
And I
song.
also liked their
Kayla-
Crossroads B-side a lot too. What was it?
The Crossroads Labyrinth
I'll come
B-side
back
again.
to this in the
Labyrinth,
Hybe
so
Course
good.
month, but I do not like the Hybe G-Friend music. Like, I think it's bad, but I also
Again,
never
I
liked
think that the
G-Friend
only-
much to begin with. So
I
Yeah,
like
you never liked
G-Friend,
G-Friend
but
to begin with.
that was just me.
I enjoy some G-Friend.
Oh,
I
did
think
G-Friend
that-
release Fever under Hybe?
no,
too?
that
No.
was pre-Hybe.
Oh, that was pre-Hybe.
That's
Okay.
pre-Hybe. The only Hybe things are the
Crossroads was the first one.
Crossroads was the first
Okay.
one, and also I think Hybe didn't have much to do with Crossroads and Apple. I don't think Hybe had much to do with. The only one I can see them actually having any kind of influence in was Mago, which I enjoyed, but I don't know. Also, I don't necessarily think Hybe takes a lot of like creative. When they acquire a company, it doesn't seem like Hybe comes in and is like, "Nah, you're doing this now." They just sort of let things continue to run if it's proven to be successful.
Yeah, it was
Which
like a
really-
trio album, ironically, that they just let him ride out with like a
Ride
kind
it
of
out.
connected album. Whatever that Chinese symbol is, it looks like it's like a box within a box. I forget I don't know how you pronounce it, but
Mhm.
yeah, I remember. It's funny because I remember the last album they put out there. I was like guessing. I'm like, well, Purgus Night, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this Madoka Magica shit?
Mhm.
Because I'm
Again,
like,
I
well,
think
Purgus
we'll
like the big
never-
enemy.
We'll never really know what happened to G-Friend, I don't think. I think it's just...
Yeah.
It's one of the mysteries of life.
It is, but they ended on a
And
good
also,
note at least.
They
so
ended on a pretty decent note, and also I just think that sometimes... Again, there was nothing big that seemed like anybody was, like, kicked out maliciously. It just seemed like maybe things didn't align the right way. So now we have, in 2020, Big Hit acquires Pledis Entertainment. Oh, in May, but I just wrote that because I was trying to get things in the right month order, too. Sorry. But, so, they acquire, essentially, the two groups still under Pledis Entertainment. They also acquire a bunch of soloists, like Nana still there, but that's really more on the acting side. They're not really doing much musically, so the two people we're going to mainly talk about are his newest. So, under Hybe, they only do Inside Out and Again, which is their disbandment song. And then in 2022, Aaron, JR, and Ren leave when their contracts expire. They had already had an extension to their contract from Pledis, but when that expires, they three leave. And then in 2022, Becco debuts solo. And then Minhyun is also still in Hybe, mainly being an actor, but I think he's going to have a solo debut.
I think so.
I think he announced that.
think
yeah,
that's
I
the
think
plan.
they announced it for next.
don't-
I think
yeah.
next.
Next
Hold up, I'm
year?
gonna double check. They announced it. He's getting a solo debut.
He's
Yeah,
getting a
they
solo
definitely
debut. We just
announced
I
it,
don't know
just
if we have a
know
date.
when. Yeah.
Yeah, dates. So
2022, 2023, they're saying.
So probably end of this
probably
year, January.
end of this
trying
year
to figure
at
out the timeline.
soonest, yeah. Yeah,
New
they,
West
they
is
didn't list
kinda
it was
doing
exclusively.
So
stuff.
here's
They're
the
just
thing.
kinda
Newest
doing
is
newest
doing
stuff.
newest things.
They're doing newest
I think
things.
Newest was ready to disband. I felt it. Like
Yeah.
Newest after they've already the roller coaster that is Newest, which will be more covered in the Pledis
Yes,
episode.
they went
was
on a fucking
roller coaster.
journey.
Yeah, they
I
did.
think all of them were like
Although I think it still
emotionally-
says a lot that two of them decided to still re-sign with Pledis.
Again, I think
You know,
a lot
after
of them
everything that
possibly
fucking
wanted-
happened, two of them
Yeah.
decided to still stick around.
But
Again,
I think that
the
that
turnaround
group was ready to disband
Yeah.
at the point that they did.
I also think that, like, I understand the two that stayed. Like, I don't know what Aaron's doing. I don't think I want to know what Aaron's doing.
Aaron's
Something
doing
about a
what?
podcast and Korean cowboys and shit. I
Korean
don't know.
cowboys. I don't want to ask any more questions.
I really
don't
don't
want to
know.
know more. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think JR probably wanted more control. I think JR seems to just want to be doing his solo stuff his way.
Yeah.
Ren probably was a different musical direction. And then Becco and Minhyun feel like they fit in Hybe. They feel like they still fit in Pledis. And honestly, for his acting career, I think Minhyun probably wants to be in Hybe. He was just in Alchemy of Souls, which was a massive show. Good for
Yeah.
him. Honestly, I think that the ones, people leave for their own personal reasons, and I think that this is just the end product.
Yep.
I feel that with them, honestly.
Honestly, with a group that was like 10 years at that point, if any, like
Yeah.
more than 10 years. I don't remember when Face was, but it was like 10-ish years.
2012, I think, was Face.
Yeah, so 10 years. I think it was time.
Yeah,
it's
I don't-
I can't blame Hybe for what they did. They didn't mismanage them. They didn't forcibly disband
Well,
them.
Hybe didn't mismanage them. If anything, Pledis did.
Pledis,
Yeah, that's
but
a
also
Pledis.
Pledis like Pledis also turned it around.
Well, true, but that's what I'm saying. If they were mismanaged, it was mainly due to Pledis. It wasn't
It
due
was
to
mainly
Hybe.
due to Pledis,
Yeah.
and now I think that with the acquisition, maybe Becco and Minhyun realized that like Hybe could do more. I don't know. They seem happy there. In the
I don't
Hybe
know. Those
family
two
picnic,
still
they
see
were
some
having a
benefit
good
with
time.
sticking around with under Pledis
Good for
and
them.
connected to Hybe. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, good for them. And then 17 under Hybe, all they've done so far is Left and Right, Home Run, Rock With You, Hot, and World, and a bunch of Japanese stuff too.
Really
Yeah, they're
just
still
I have
just
nothing
going
to say.
forward, doing
Really
shit.
just
They're
doing 17
thriving.
things. Like,
Hybe acquired
continuing to do
Pledis and
17
was
things.
like, keep doing whatever it is you're doing.
Because
You're thriving,
it's great,
boys.
and they're still making money. They're still getting a ton
and
of
they're
views.
making money.
They're killing it.
Their album sales continue to rise each comeback.
Yeah.
They were
This is
for
like a
consistently
7-member
the second or third best-selling boy group for a long time. They still
I
are.
think they're at this point second. I think that they've officially, like, once EXO stopped being like a consistent group, they reached second, and I think they're still there. They're thriving. They're about to have, not about to, but in the next couple of years, they're probably going to do the Suju military solution,
yeah.
which is round,
Where
like,
there's so many
three of them
people.
definitely don't have to go. There's a
Yes.
questionable fourth one in there, because I don't know what Vernon's
what the
citizenship
We're trying to
status
figure out if
is.
Vernon's a Korean citizen.
I
or
don't
not.
know what
We
the
don't
Vernon
know.
I don't know
TBD.
Vernon's citizenship status. I've never
We'll
seen
find
his
out
passport.
shortly.
We'll find out maybe not that shortly.
Okay,
He's one
we'll
of the
find out
youngest
eventually in the
members.
future.
We'll find out about that eventually.
But very minimum, 3 of them don't have to go in. I think they've already all re-signed, which 13 people.
I don't know how
So
long
many
they did it for,
people,
but
so many people.
But like 13 people re-signing at all, insane. They've been getting a bunch of solo stuff, at least with digital singles. But I don't know if they really. I feel like if they wanted an album, they could get it.
yeah.
Woozy just
I'm
did
like,
the Hybe
they're living-
producer line now of like random like groupings of people, and then Woozy also there because he produces stuff.
Woozy was in the producer line
Yep.
of, we're in this company when we also watch their like
The
what's it
Hybe
called,
update.
the Hybe community
Yeah.
briefing. We're in. We're full in. We wanted to see the Hybe community briefing. We need to know.
Mhm.
We need to know the nose.
We need to be on the inside.
Yep.
Look, to put into perspective,
22
how much
high briefing with the community. Who
With the
fuck is
community, yes.
is my question.
us. We're the
We're
community.
the community.
We're the
We,
vibes.
us.
It's us.
We're the vibes. To put into perspective how deep in we are with Hybe, we spent like a good half hour one night going through their jobs tab on the website
We
just to
did.
see what they're hiring for.
Like, what is Hybe
Just
hiring
Yeah.
see.
for right
We
now?
literally
What are they
did that
hiring
because I was
for?
curious. I'm like, because it's. I mean,
Because we were on the web. I don't remember.
Listen,
why
I
we were
will
on-
tell you
we were on
this.
the website for
Recently, I've been
something.
paying attention to video game podcasts. They do pay
Mhm.
attention and mention when certain AAA title companies, like companies that make the big, important, like most anticipated games, which
Uh-huh.
kind of people they hire and stuff. So, like, it's a thing
See?
people pay
That's
attention
what we were
to.
Maybe we'll
curious
fi-
about.
maybe-
We were curious about where Hybe, the expansion of Hybe, or like
Oh, that's what it
up-
was.
Or
We were
boy
d-
groups
we
that
were
were
looking at
upcoming,
the-
and we are like, where are they hiring right now?
Yeah, maybe we were curious about hiring.
Yeah.
Turns out they're hiring for a lot of
A lot of things.
things. They're just hiring. They're just hiring a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're hiring a lot for Adore and also Pledis.
A lot for Adore, a lot for KOZ, a lot for
KOZ.
A lot for
Pledis.
KOZ.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because KOZ is actually, we'll get to KOZ.
We'll
Yeah,
get
we'll
there
get to
soon.
In
KOZ.
terms of 17,
17 is just
They're
doing
just letting
17
17 do
they're doing
17 things.
It's fine.
like, I think that this is the best way to run this group.
Yeah.
17 has been proven a success for years. They
Yep.
don't need someone to come in and change anything.
Yep.
And also, I think that just gives them such an opportunity. I'm so excited for when, like, I don't know, I want Woozy to produce a new Jeans song. I don't know. Just putting out crazy ideas.
Yep.
I mean, I like the two
that'd be
producers that
weird.
I
I
talked
like it.
about in my previous hip hop episode. So
Yeah.
they did well. I want Frank to be able to have a redemption, not be associated with cringy lyrics. We'll get to that.
I mean, I think that, like, it's a good, I think that everyone's, I just like where we are with 17, that they're just
Right.
doing what they want, but it's not change. It's just evolving into what it is. I love 17. They're my second favorite K-pop group. They're the first K-pop group I have followed since debut.
Yep.
And it's wild to me that they got this popular. I'm so
Very
happy for
cute.
them.
Good for them.
They're great.
It's great.
I love them.
All right.
And you
All
know what?
right.
Hybe, let them keep doing what they're doing.
They did.
Don't
which is
touch
smart.
it.
Yes.
Hybe knows.
Don't touch it.
If it ain't broke, don't fucking
don't
fix
fix it.
Don't touch it.
Don't
Let
touch
the money
it.
come
Just
in.
acquire it. And that's the thing. Acquire it
And then don't
give
fix
it more money,
It's fine.
and let it give you even more money.
Exactly. See, smart business.
Let it
I love
triple
it.
your money.
Smart fucking smart business.
Yep.
Jeez. All right.
All right,
is
to
it,
move
is it my
on,
turn?
in 2020, we have Hypen,
Yes.
which was formed on Island originally, which was a
a
survival
show we've
Sammi
seen.
and Dan did extensive coverage
I
on.
have not.
If you want to watch
But yeah.
me lose my mind,
Yep. And then me
Watch
and Sammi
Island.
did an
Watch
Island
my Island
retrospective
cast.
a year later. We did a lot of coverage on Island.
Island is maybe we have more hours on Island than we do on any Kingdom series. I think we have more hours on Island than most things, other than Produce,
Produces
which is
a
7
lot.
seasons.
Kingdom Legendary Wars may be close. We have a lot of shit on that, but
We do, but like in terms of like, I'm talking hours there, because me and Dan's Island casts
a lot.
at one point were some of the longest episodes
Too long,
we had.
to be honest.
They were too long. I do not. I should go back and re-listen to them because I don't know
remember what
how
was going on.
I don't know how we spent that long talking about that show because not that much
Nothing
happened on that show.
significant happens on any given episode of
Yeah.
Island.
But we talked about it for like 3 hours,
So long.
and also would talk about it on our free time.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm very invested in the boy, which is also why I think I'm so invested in Enhypen.
Yes.
I like Enhypen, guys.
Yep. So that happened in 2020, and then they debut later in 2020 with Give and Taken.
It was a very fast turnaround
It
on
was-
that group.
I
Very
wish
fast
that got
turnaround.
their first win, Give and Taken,
I do
because I
too.
like it a lot.
Give and
But
Take-
you know what?
I-
They eventually got it with Drunk Days.
Look,
so
Drunk Days,
it all worked
I mean,
out.
I like Give and Taken. I still think that it might be my least favorite title track entirely because the rest of it is so good. I think that this is another group that everybody was very scared of, like, well, where are they going to go? Are they
Gonna
new
be baby
BTS?
BTS? No,
No.
they're not. They're vampires.
I love how obsessed people are with the new baby BTS from Hybe.
And then
Oh
it's
yeah,
never
speaking
come.
of
And
which,
none
they're
of it ever
vampires. Do we
comes.
want to
They're
talk about the
vampires.
web comics them and TXT and
Well,
BTS
I think we get through it and then we talk about it. I think we talk about the Hybe expanded universe at the end altogether.
those exist.
Yeah,
It does
We'll
exist,
talk
but
about the
I
lore
like the
later.
way that it's happening significantly more than the way SM shoves it in your face. Like,
Yeah.
yes, because the thing with it is that like Hybe has ignorable lore.
yes,
All the way back to BTS,
yes,
there was lore. You could watch a 45-minute video on BTS lore,
yes.
or you could not.
But you know what? If you don't want to pay attention to the lore, you don't have to, and it's fine.
You can watch You can watch another 45-minute TXT lore. Do you have to?
No.
No.
Are they shoving anything in your face?
No.
But is it also just really cool MV imagery?
Yes.
Because really cool imagery is awesome in music videos.
Yes.
That's it.
But it's not
And
like
also
we're out here saying
vampires.
Quenya in every fucking song, and I have
know,
to
I
fucking
hate it.
pay attention to it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
The lore is there, but like, if you don't
And
care about it, you don't
also-
have to care about it.
Also, you want to know where there's the lore? They've made webcomics for BTS, TXT, and Enhypen. Their
And
lore
also,
is all
Lee
on a
Seraphim
webtoon.
now.
And Lee Seraphim now. There's now 4 webcomics.
Wait, has it come out
You
yet
want
for Lee
lore?
Seraphim?
Go there.
Or no?
I-
There is
it's
a
announced
little
at least.
preview of it in the Anti-Fragile album,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, you
You're
get it when you buy
kidding.
the Anti-Fragile
Ugh.
album.
Yep.
But it's mainly just an ad.
It
It's
is an
not
ad.
part of the
It
album.
is also
It's
it's kind of like a little like light novel because it is mostly
Yeah.
Do we think
words.
New Jeans is gonna get lore?
I don't
I
think,
think-
so.
I don't think so.
They
I feel
don't
like
seem
Adore.
like- they don't
I
seem
feel
like
like
the type
Adore's
of
being
group
allowed
who
to
would
do
get
something
lore.
different within
Yeah.
Hybe. So.
Yeah, but also, if anything, their lore is probably even going to be more subtle than
They
the rest
don't
of their
feel
lore.
like the group that would get lore.
Get lore.
Yeah.
if they
fair,
do
but
get
also-
lore, it's gonna be something like shoujo anime or something like.
Well,
shit like
I mean,
that,
Slice of
feel
life
like.
anime.
Yeah,
Slice of life
which I think
anime.
would be but again, it's ignorable lore. Like,
Yeah.
I have not. I think I read the first chapter of all of them just to see how
So
bad
did
it was. It
I.
actually wasn't bad. It was actually a
They're
pretty.
very weird.
they're
I
fun.
do.
They're
I wasn't
weird.
liking any of them, so I didn't continue. But it's like the BTS one is very fantasy heavy, and it's like
Yes.
very hard to follow, so I stopped reading that one.
I know
Yeah.
Suga made and Jungkook did a song for it, and the song's pretty good.
Well, all of
but,
them are
you
doing
know.
songs for them. I think and Hypen did a second song for it.
And
so did
Hypen's
TXT.
is
They
like
do-
a magical school one where there's
Yeah.
a girl who's a vampire. That's in with the lore.
you know, that's fine.
And then TXT's is like they're
An
they're
idol
just
group.
an idol group, but every single other idol group can do magic, and they have
powers,
like
and they
shitty
don't have-
magic, so it's like
Yeah.
so they're bad. Yeah,
Yeah, but also again, it is.
I mean,
that
it
one
sucks.
was the funniest because I was like, this
It
is
was.
a ridiculous concept, but I'm kind
But
of
also,
here for
I
it.
like that. That's the concept for TXT.
Yeah.
I think that fits TXT. Again, I think the lore is ignorable, and honestly, if you want to invest a lot of time in it, go ahead. Thrive, live your best life, have a great time. I don't want to. I don't have to.
Exactly.
It's not. It's not.
It's
not
not necessary to
knowledge.
enjoy the group at all.
I don't even think the group knows about it. The group does not care.
Yeah.
They don't read their own webtoon. I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but maybe they don't. They probably don't read their own webtoon.
They don't have to. Is
They
the
don't
thing.
have to.
They don't have to be
And-
aware of the entire lore of their
But
company.
I also just think
They're
that,
not
like,
confronted
the-
with it at every concert they do.
And here's the thing. I think just like K-pop has had weird concepts of like EXO were aliens for a while, and sometimes that got brought up in music videos,
Yeah.
but it was not integral to your knowledge of EXO. Yeah, sure. In Hype music videos, they're vampires. That's just really a fun, like, that's a fun little thing that's probably going to get dropped in a couple years
Right.
anyway. Because
Yeah.
that happens with all debut groups. And I think that it's more subtly put in there than a lot of the even
Can you
the,
tell
the
I'm salty
third-
about SM Entertainment?
Can you
Yes.
tell we're all
Can you also
salty
tell
about
we-
entertainment?
Can you also tell that we recorded that episode maybe 2 hours ago?
2 hours ago.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I want to claim the next couple.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think they're yours
Alright.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so 2020, Big Hit acquires KOZ Entertainment, which is a label founded by Zico, who is a former / on hiatus former member of
No, I think
Block
he
B.
officially left Block
Okay.
B.
The only other thing that happened is that I think Dawn was signed on to the label, who's in like 2020, who's an R&B artist, or like 2019, I forget. But yeah, he was discharged from the military in 2022. He released Soul, Drift, and Freak, and
That's about
currently his company has been putting out a lot of audition stuff lately, so they are trying to ramp up for a boy
They're trying
group.
to get trainees.
Yeah.
But there is no information on that yet. I think they're still in the audition and scouting process.
Yes.
Yeah, to what I know.
Honestly, I like it. I feel like Hybe has look.
Hybe has got
In Hybe
Zico,
shows,
they have him on a
Zico-
leash now.
They have him on a leash, and honestly, I think Zico needs a leash.
Yes.
Zico has done
So
Zico,
many questionable
not
things.
able to go 6 months without a scandal. Zico now, a fully functioning member of society.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good for
Zico
him.
hasn't,
Maybe
like,
either the
honestly,
military-
I think he cleaned up his act a little bit before Hybe acquired his label, and then he just hasn't caused any problems really since
Zico
then.
stopped. I think Zico realized he for his long-term career.
I think
He
the
needs to
Hybe,
clean up
I
his
think
act
the
a little
Hybe
bit.
PR gave him a talking to, and we're like,
And
listen,
also, I
you gotta
think
figure your
Zico,
shit
maybe
out.
in the military, figured out that I'm
Yeah.
not a 15-year-old punk anymore.
Right.
That people
Yeah.
are not going to look as kindly on my
Honestly,
mistakes
military
at 30.
can make grow your ass up
Honestly,
a little bit.
I also just think that Zico realized that age 30, people are not going to accept I'm just a sweet boy who doesn't understand excuse.
Like, you're a grown man
You're
now.
a adult.
I will
You're
say
not
he has definitely
15.
expanded in his music, where it's definitely more quirky with style, which I do.
I kind of like it. Honestly, my favorite Zico songs are still when he
Actually,
like,
and
tones it
he
down.
did good this year. He created
like
a song
any
with
song.
the trio hip hop group Homies, and that song from the SMF show, Street Man Fighter, actually got pretty damn popular on the charts. Like, was #1 on the charts. So he's doing well, and that's more of like hip hop. So like, he can still
for
work
Zico.
both.
Good for him.
Yeah,
He's
and
doing
honestly,
well.
I'm interested to see a group that Zico produces. Because the thing with it is, I think that a lot of people say will sound a little bit like Block B. I think it will have Block B elements, but I honestly don't know how much Block B it will be.
I don't know.
'Cause Zico
I
is
don't
one
know
thing
if
I
you
can
can do
guarantee-
Block
his
B
relationship.
music.
There's
Like,
only one thing I can guarantee. Zico's gonna make sure whoever's a rapper in his group is gonna know how to fucking rap. That I can guarantee.
That's fair.
That
But
is the only guarantee I can put
I
out
also
there.
think
I don't know
I
if we
also
can
think
make
that
Block
it's
B
also
music in
hype.
2022.
Like,
Like,
considering
yeah.
Zico's considered to be the best
I think
idol
Block
to
B
legit
elements.
idol rapper of all
The
time,
other
pretty
thing
much.
is I think that Hybe, at the very least, has like Hybe is not a group I think that pushes rap on things that don't need rap.
Yeah.
There isn't that much rap in TXT songs.
TXT doesn't
and Hyben
have a
songs.
rapper.
This may be
like,
the
rap
group that's more
fine.
rap based.
This will be
Yeah.
a group that's more rap based.
Maybe.
And honestly, I think
We'll
I
see.
think
but
Hybe is probably doing the best in terms of rap because they don't push rap where it doesn't need to be pushed.
Yeah.
Unlike so many other idol groups that everything needs a rap verse.
And I'm
for
like,
Yeah.
some reason.
no, we
You
don't
have
need a rap
rappers.
verse.
What are you
yeah,
Stop
we don't need a rap
Stop
verse.
it.
I also think that might be something they learned from Source because you know who didn't have rappers? G-Friend. You know who didn't need rappers? G-Friend.
G-Friend.
I think that there's a lot to be learned from not
Yes.
having a rapper in every song.
Yeah, but I am curious if he will make this more of a hip-hop kind of based group. I am kind
I
of
don't
curious
know.
how he's going to take it. I'm really curious.
Interested to see. I also like that he's doing this. He didn't. This is not an insult to Zico, but it is very good that he is doing this with a network system under a larger.
Oh, I think he knows he
corporation.
needs a network.
He knows he is.
They're
not
actively
arrogant enough to
hiring
think that he
everywhere.
Can do this.
You can just do it.
He knows
Yeah.
that he needs to have a support system to make a group because Zico doesn't know how to make a group. Zico's never made a group before.
Yeah.
Zico has produced though a lot for music, and I wouldn't be surprised
That's
if
not
he's like a
making a group.
producer. No, it's not.
That's-
It's
but
being
that's
a creative
not-
head.
He is trying to train his company is trying to train these children from debut to from trainee to debut. He's gonna need a lot of help.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm very content that he actually is getting that. Also, they're hiring a lot of people, which means that they're actually trying to put good people in the positions that they're gonna get.
Yep.
Good for them. So, in 2021, I'm just gonna do both of these
Go
because
ahead.
they're just notes. In 2021 is when Big Hit rebrands to Hybe Corporation, Hybe Labels, whatever you want to call it. I honestly had to be reminded,
And that
of this
Big Hit
'cause I
becomes
thought
just Big Hit music.
Big Hit music.
Yeah.
Big Hit is only now under Big Hit right now is only BTS and TXT. Everything else is under 17, still under Pledis, and Hypen under B-Lift, which is them and CJE&M.
Yeah.
Zico still under KOZ. The only thing that's under quote-unquote Big Hit music is BTS and TXT.
Yeah.
But now we get Hybe Corporation, which I, in my mind, thought it happened earlier. I thought it genuinely happened when the acquisition started, but it actually took a little longer. And then in 2021, Hybe also acquires Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings through the subsidiary Hybe America. The artists under that include Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, J Balvin, Demi Lovato, and Salem Isle?
I think. Yeah, she's been involved. Salem has been involved with some interacting and some writing of music
I mean,
lately.
she's probably the most active with being in the Hybe sphere directly.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Well,
all the other
besides
ones, which
Scooter,
is just
but-
give it.
Oh,
I
another
want
thing to
Scooter
note
to
though
be
with
less
Scooter is that
involved.
Scooter is listed as a co-CEO of
CEO
Hybe
of
America,
Hybe America.
and he is also one of the top 3 on the big chairman board head as well. So
Which
he's
is, I
up there
think,
now within Hybe.
Yeah, which is also
which is
what
weird.
Probably
I'm gonna
got
need him
the
to
which is
not-
also
I'm
probably
curious
what
if
got
he
the
has
deal.
actually
here.
made effort to learn Korean yet. I
No.
don't
Not
think
at all.
so, but
None.
Not. I will tell you for a fact, having watched him interact with people, not a word.
yeah.
Not not even in a young
I'm gonna
Haseo
need
for like.
Scooter Braun to stop
to
being
stop
involved in Hybe, not in America.
Look, if I'm being honest, he can be involved as much as he wants behind the scenes. Do not interact with those boys.
Please do not
again.
come on to
not
and
interact.
audition and be a
Never.
judge.
However,
for
the
and
acquisition
audition.
of this is actually very smart because Ithaca Holdings does make a lot
Ithaca
of money through
Holdings-
these artists.
Ithaca
Big Hit
Holdings is-
now owns Hybe owns the rights to all these artists' music, technically, probably.
And also all of their future music under Ithaca Holdings.
yeah,
and
so that's a
possibly
constant
with how
stream
we
of
learned
income
about,
there.
and also with how we learned about Taylor Swift, probably the masters to all of.
Not
Ariana
Taylor
Grande,
Swift's masters, though.
Not Taylor
That's
Swift's
apparently
masters.
a
I'm
Disney.
talking about how
That's apparently a Disney.
We went on a rabbit
thing.
hole also one night because we weren't sure with the Ithaca Holdings. Does Big Hit now own Taylor Swift's masters? They don't.
What is it? A Disney? What is it? Trust?
It's Disney.
A Disney trust?
It's a Disney. It's a Disney family trust.
Yeah,
It's
Disney
from the
Family
Disney
Trust owns her
family.
rights to her
Not
original
not
music.
the Disney corporate, the Disney family.
Yes. So like Disney's family descendants and co.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who definitely don't need any more money than they already have.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, but then again, Taylor Swift has been one of the biggest artists of the decade.
But what I'm
so
saying,
I don't know.
I'm saying with Taylor Swift is like with how we learned about masters because of Taylor Swift, they probably own the masters to Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber.
Yeah, also
Justin
J Balvin,
Bieber,
huge,
J
one of the
Balvin,
biggest artists in the Latin
massive.
America sphere, like
massive.
massive. Justin
Honestly,
Bieber, Ariana, like shit.
Yeah, and also to like look at it, they also own Big Machine Records. Big Machine Records is massive in the country music scene.
Yeah, so that's a lot of
Yeah.
money right there too.
Big Machine Labels has some massive American country music stars, which not my
Not
genre,
that I
but
literally
like
know any of them.
Not
None of
that
us
I
listen
know
to country, but still,
but
country
like,
music
that's
is
that's money.
yeah.
That's
money.
money. That's money.
I mean,
in
they
Bank
still have the
D's
CMA
pocket.
Awards. Someone's watching the CMA Awards.
And
A lot
honestly,
of
country
people are
music,
not us,
people,
but someone is.
Here's the thing: people are very ride or die for country music. You love it or you hate it, and the people that love it love it.
Yeah.
It's not us, but it's not our demographic. It's not our
I think
genre.
for Hybe, this is very smart because
For
this
Hybe,
also
this
gives them a
is so
permanent
much.
branch in the States. So if they
Yeah.
need to do tours in the States, interviews, you name it, there's already a set of there's Ethical Holdings, there's Big Machine
Honestly,
Records, that's all set there for them to do that shit.
It's an
And
insane,
also
it's an insane
collaborations
acquisition.
with
It's
artists in the
insane.
States.
And like, you give Scooter Braun anything. Like, you can not like him or whatever. There's a lot of bad things about Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
He can make a hit maker. He knows
He's
how to find.
managed hit
He's
makers.
managed hit makers. So like, I also don't think Hybe is stupid enough to give him free reign. I know that they can like also keep him on a leash of just like maybe take the knowledge that you can get about the American music industry from him, because again, we're going into uncharted waters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who has gone through those waters?
A little bit. He has.
Yeah.
As a manager.
So honestly, I think it's a good move on their part. It's insane
It's a
how
very
they
smart
got
business
it.
move,
It's
I
such a
think.
smart business
Because you get a constant stream of money
but
flowing
like
in.
you think about like the caliber of artists they also bought. It's
Yeah.
Ariana Grande is massive.
Massive.
J Balvin is
J Balvin's
massive in Latin America.
Bieber's getting
Bieber-
attention again still.
Bieber sells. Bieber still sells. Like, you're looking at the caliber of artists, and it's like some of the biggest artists in the world. Now, essentially held with another one of the biggest artists in the world with BTS. Like, it's all under one conglomerate, and it's getting...
But this also allows Hybe to do Hybe-related activities in the
Yeah, it
States
also-
outside of their Korean groups. Like the Hybe
It-
Geffen Records
yeah.
thing that's going on. They're
Mhm.
planning on making a
Yeah.
girl group from that. So.
And it also just helps with it also brings a lot more value to their current groups of like, okay, now we have the connections for if we want to do something with our current groups, which they're not pushing for. They're also allowing things like Hypen to grow naturally, TXT to grow naturally. 17, fucking massive, does not need a push in the States. And they didn't try to do it because they know that that wouldn't work with a 13-member group. They know that they don't need it.
No, they're
It's
good.
such a-
17
It's such a
has, like,
smart way to do it.
Japanese releases
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So then we go in 2021. Pledis also begins managing From Is 9. So From Is 9, made on Idol School, was I forget. I didn't write down what company they managed them before, but at that time, contracts and everything, the contract for From Is 9 gets transferred to Pledis Entertainment. They begin managing them. From that point, all the comebacks of Talk and Talk, DM, and Stay This Way are managed by Pledis and thus by Hybe.
They were in Stone Music before they
Stone Music,
and
that's the
off
word.
They were co-managing off the record in Stone Music before they were in Pledis.
And so then in 2022, Guri leaves Promise
To basically do
be
acting.
an
to
actress,
be able to do
essentially.
acting, which
Fair.
She did appear in
Fair.
a few more things. She did appear in that Family Hybe
she was
thing.
that was before she left. That was before it was announced she left. So that was
Yeah.
like the last big thing she did. She was in the Stay This Way comeback, and then she left.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there's not much, like, she wanted to leave. I don't think there was any animosity
No,
for her. I
she
think
just
she just
wants
wanted
an
to focus on
actress,
other things.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
A lot of
which
idols
is
She
do
fine.
did
that,
acting
it's
before
fine.
with Chu. Like, yeah, that's probably going to be the route she's going to go.
Yeah.
And look at Chu now. Without getting too much into Luna. Chu's doing her own thing kind of now, too. Kind of.
even though Chu hasn't technically left Luna.
I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
mostly
weird.
Luna.
That's a
Luna
discussion for
problem.
another
We'll
episode.
discuss that at a different date, but
Yeah.
like I don't think there's no animosity, nothing wrong
Yeah.
happened. Someone wanted to leave and they let her leave. No one's suing anybody.
Yep.
Oh my god. Positive interactions.
Wow.
Wow.
What a concept.
And
Oh my God.
Promise 9 is
shocked.
going to have a comeback with with the rest of them next
yeah,
year.
and From His 9 will continue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Shocking.
Oh my
Shocking.
God.
Can you tell we're still salty about that SM episode?
Jesus Christ, I hate it. So in 2022, we get Lee Seraphim, which is managed
Woo!
under Source Music. The big thing about Lee Seraphim is prior to debut, they were able to get Sakura out of HKT48,
Yep.
and then Aewon out of Woolham Entertainment. So
Yep.
And somehow convince Jennifer Ha, aka Yoonjin,
she was
to
already
come
she
back
was already
and not go to
there.
college.
I mean, she was
already in Pledis as a trainee for like a while.
Yeah, but apparently she went home.
She
and
was gonna
not
go-
gonna
yeah,
do
and then
that,
she
and
came
then
back.
they called her
Yeah.
and got her ass back. So
and
I'm
they also
like,
were
yes.
able to get Kazuha from the Netherlands
from
or
the
Norway.
Yeah, from her. Yeah,
No-
from
no,
her,
the
her
Netherlands.
ballet
Yeah.
academy in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of thought went into that group. So they
Yeah,
debut
I mean-
early 2020, and then 18 days after their debut, Garam goes on a hiatus and later
I
leaves
counted.
the group.
I counted.
18 days.
18 days. Took 18 days for people to
From debut. However, the
From
problem
debut.
started as soon as they
Again,
revealed
the problem,
her teaser.
Yes,
unfortunately.
but like, I'm sorry.
Also, so if people
With-
are unaware about the Garam situation, it was essentially came out she had a school bullying accusation for when she was like 12 years old.
12.
A lot of false information got thrown out about that, and it's like
And also a lot of information that people were like, well, there's this paper in it that we can't see. I'm like, yes, all of these people are minors. Of course, that's a confidential paper.
And it was like recently she was cleared of her bullying thing anyway, so it was like really people just went on a witch hunt for her.
Yeah, it didn't help that the Korean fans already basically turned against her, so I think that's
Yeah.
what kind
Again,
of did
I think
it
the
in, which
minute that the
sucks.
accusation came out, people
Like, they
were
didn't
like,
really have a
but
choice.
all information that contradicted the fact that she was a bully was like ignored. But also, again, it's one of those weird situations where people didn't let the facts play out.
Also,
And
it-
Without
also
going into
started
it too
bu-
much,
and
though,
also
I think we should
started
probably talk
bullying-
about it from the company side, because I'll have a lot more to say about this next year. But
We'll
how
discuss
Big
that
Hit
next
handled
year.
it, I think they handled it the
Honestly,
best
I
they
think
could have.
tried.
I mean,
think
I think they had to at that point. Like, they,
Look,
they
I
were
think
gonna
they
lose
had to
all
get rid of her
support.
at that
They were gonna
point.
lose
Yeah.
all of the support for
Yeah.
Lee Seraphim if they did
Especially
it.
since
Like,
they got fucking Sakura and Chaewon off of
Yeah.
one of the biggest girl
Again,
groups of the past
I think a lot
decade.
of it.
Like,
I think
no.
I think the way you can view it is like they tried to defend her. That like you read, especially looking back at the one thing I will give Hybe statements. They're long and they're detailed.
yes.
Oh fuck, are they long?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck, are they? Hybe does not put out a statement that is like doesn't put out a statement. Hybe puts out an essay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've read all of them. They're very detailed. They counterpoint after point to the point where you think they're like over defending her, which I remember when we read it, we're like, this almost seems like too much of a defense. But
Also,
they
the
tried
fact
to
that
defend
this
her.
literally
and
happened
people
when
didn't
she
take
was 12 years old.
Exactly.
I am not
Granted, she
gonna,
was
like,
16 when she debuted, so
But
one
like,
could
I
argue-
am not gonna hold someone
know.
accountable for things they did when they were 12. Like,
Especially
you're a
stuff that
child.
comes out.
I'm
Especially
not.
stuff that comes out later that they didn't do.
Yes, it's just
That's
like
the other
it's
thing is that she
ridiculous.
didn't do it.
And
But
so
with
many
that-
people
Yeah.
were so fast to just absolutely witch hunt her without like wanting to literally.
I
listen
have a
to
lot more
any other
thoughts on this
side
that I
of it.
want
The
to
other
discuss
thing,
at another time.
But back onto the Hybe statement
Yeah.
is that they tried to defend her.
They tried.
They put out this statement. They go point by point.
And then people are like, they
going
should have
through
done
it.
more. And I'm like, well,
No, no,
They
this
did
happened
the
when she
best
was a
that they
fucking
could.
minor.
at the time, at the
They did
time, trust me, I've read too much about this story.
Huh.
At the time, people turned around and were like, "Why are you defending her? Don't defend her. We hate her." And then, okay, they continue to keep her around. They kept her around for a very long time while this scandal was
They
just
did.
kept snowballing and snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And I can't, at the very end, I don't know if they kicked her out and were just like, look, you are getting abuse after abuse after abuse that will follow you forever. Do you, like, I don't know if it's the fact that, like, Garam knew that this was going to follow her for the rest of her life. if she stayed, because I truly don't think that anybody was going to.
And the last time I think
look
Big Hit
past
wanted
it.
something a la, like, you know,
And
one of their
anything-
people deciding to, you know, be tormented and then decides to
yeah.
die.
And the thing
you
is
know?
I don't
I
think they
tr-
wouldn't have even attempted to defend her that much if they knew she was in
Knew
the
that she
wrong.
was
Like,
guilty.
if they
Yeah.
knew that, they
But I
probably
do-
would have just kicked her out immediately. But because they
Yeah,
knew that
but, like,
a lot
they
of the
tried
stuff
to defend
wasn't
her.
really her fault.
And
it
I
was
don't think there's anything else Hybe could do. They tried to
Ugh.
defend her. That didn't work.
Yeah.
This girl is getting relentless online abuse. And I think at some point they're just like, I can't say if they kicked her out or they just gave her the option to leave.
The way
or
they
she
worded
wanted
it,
to
though,
leave.
made it
Who's
seem
to
like
say?
they kicked her out, but, like, that's how they worded
But,
it.
like,
though.
who's
I
not
don't
to
know
say
the
that they
details.
didn't do it just to keep the heat off of her?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, just give us the blame. We don't care. We'll take it. Like, also, statements translated always have, like, weird issues with
Yeah,
translation.
that and also they still have a brand new girl group they're trying to make successful and
they're
don't want this whole
and
situation
this is
to
a
drag
brand
them
new
the
girl
rest of
group
them
that's
down.
barely debuted.
Again,
like,
they acquired
what more
Chaewon
can
and
they do?
Sakura. They don't want this group to fucking fail.
This
They have to
this
probably
group
pay
can't fail.
so
And
much money for the contract termination for both of them.
Oh my
Like, I
God.
can't even imagine that.
I can only imagine. But like looking at it, I don't know what else they could do. We always talk about how companies are so quick to like, all right, just kick them out or just send them to the military when they fuck up. Just do something. This company put out a fucking long ass statement to defend somebody point by point, and the people rejected it. And here's the thing: if Big Hit ever has a scandal like this again, and they don't put out a statement like that, I wouldn't be surprised because again, they tried it once and it failed, and it backfired on them greatly. People were like, "Why are you People were turning it around as if they're doing something wrong.
So it's like these people complain when the fucking company actually defends their artists with some, well,
When people
seemingly legitimate evidence,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
People
they have a
reject
fucking
it.
issue when they decide to do it. Oh, they must be hiding something. It's like, make up your
They're
fucking
over
mind, bitch.
People legitimately said that the statement was too detailed. So they're like, "Of why are you defending?" I'm like, the statement is detailed because they're trying to counter all.
Oh,
of
I
the
wish
points
companies
people have
defended
made.
their idols more against its scandals. Well, guess what? When the company
guess what?
fucking
They
does, you
did.
have a
They
bitch fit
tried,
about
and
it.
people-
Like,
None of you wanted to care about
None of you
it.
wanted it.
yeah.
So guess what? Why are they going to waste their time? Why are they going to waste one poor PR person's whole day?
I mean, without
Who's
getting
gonna
into
sit
it,
there and write the
this
whole
has been
thing?
one of the most disappointing fan responses I have seen
the
to
thing
a
with
scandal.
it
Like, it
is,
makes me
because I'm
enraged.
so, and like this is really where we get to the
This is
point
a
of,
minor.
as a boy group
People
fan,
act like
as
this
a
over a fucking minor.
But here's the thing. As a boy group fan, I'm able to see that, like, if she was a man, this would not have happened. Because she is, like, if this was a group that was not even maybe a year... If this didn't happen the day of debut, or, like, even days before debut, if this group had been able to be fine for, like, a week or two, I can see this turning around.
Yeah.
Because the minute that you heard the song or whatever, people instantly are like, okay, I love this. The fact that it happened pre-debut, and like the minute she was announced, I also see this being
Yeah.
an issue because no one had a chance to like her. People immediately hated her
Yeah,
for
no
no
one got
reason,
to
for
know
things that didn't
her.
even happen to you. You were not bullied by this girl. You're 20 something and live halfway across the world. Leave her alone.
Also, like,
Yeah,
if
the
you
behavior
wanted
of a
your
lot of people
entire-
that I
if you
saw
wanted
on the
your entire
internet-
adult career
Yeah.
to be dictated by decisions you made when you're 12 years old, also is like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it
depressing.
leads into a conversation of like how much shit can you dig up from the past and fling at someone to quote unquote destroy their
Again, I
career
think
over,
is it a thing that, like, all right, if they are like a terrible person or whatever and they continue that behavior, sure, bring it up that they were always bad.
Yeah.
But like to attack a minor and to attack her, so
Someone
it's not
who's
that people
still
were
a
bringing,
minor.
It's not that they were bringing it up in the way of, oh, she had this bullying issue, I wonder what it was, da 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 da, and gave her a chance to say, explain, apologize. No, it's immediate vitriol. It was absolutely immediately people making up their minds of she needs to go. And I understand that bullying is a very big issue in South Korea. I understand that it's a very sensitive
it's
topic.
a huge issue.
It's
but,
also
like,
Also,
different
I
in South
think
Korea
that
than it is in the
that
West.
bullying should not be answered with bullying.
you know, it's such
bullying
a big
should not
issue
be
that they
answered-
won't make,
bullying
you
of
know,
a minor.
it's such a big issue in South Korea that they'll blame every single celebrity that's been accused of it, but they won't make
Yes.
actual legit changes within their own
And here's
fucking
the other
school
thing: is I
systems
don't
to
think
fix
that
it,
bullying
you know?
of a minor should be answered with bullying of another minor,
By adults.
like by adults.
Yeah.
But even if they were just a bunch of 13-year-olds on the internet,
Still.
stop. get some help.
Like, honestly, one of the more disappointed I've ever
the
felt
thing
like
with
in the
this is,
K-pop fandom
we're
that I've seen
sitting here,
internationally, because it's disgusting. It's like, you're doing this to a fucking minor. What good do you think this is gonna come of?
Even if this was an adult, even if she was 25 years old, and this happened after she debuted, like, for years, you have to sort of let the facts play out.
Who's the fucking misogynist now? Really?
All right, we're doing more call-outs.
I mean, like, it's like, it pisses me off so much.
It does. It
like,
really does piss me off. Because also
you preach love and happiness, but yet here you are, well, not you as in, like, these assholes who act like trolls and terrible on the internet, you know, don't practice what you preach. You do fucking terrible shit. You're like bullies, anonymous bullies. Like,
I'm just
up.
I'm just sad for her. I think she deserves better.
She deserves so much better.
For her.
I hope whatever the fuck she decides to do in life, she, you know, is able to find happiness, be chill. I hope she knows that it's not the end of the world for her, you know?
No,
I know at that age, things, especially, I can't even imagine something like this on my shoulders, but I know at that age, you can take the tiniest things and it becomes a big deal.
But, like, this isn't even the tiniest thing.
Yeah.
Her world did kind of fall apart. Her
did.
dream kind of did fall apart, and I feel so bad for her.
I know.
Yeah.
And then
I hope she knows that there's more to life than this.
I have watched the Lee Seraphim documentary, and you can really tell that they're trying to edit around her, and now because of everything you find out, you also try to edit around her probably for her own protection, because you kind of, like, it's probably best that they just want to be like, we're done with the story, we're not doing it anymore, we're not mentioning it,
we don't need to drag for more.
We don't need to drag this out any longer than it already has been. We're done. We've put out so many statements already. We don't need to put out more.
And it honestly feels like a weird, like self-fulfilling prophecy, because people always joke about how Big Hit never put out a girl group because of what happened to Glam, and it's like, it's almost like it feels like people went looking for something.
People went looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I mean, but then I don't want to say let's move on, but, like, looking at Lee Seraphim now, I think that the best thing for that Big Hit ever did was just like, okay, this happened. The rest of you are here. And we're just going to keep going, and you guys are going to be amazing and fabulous.
And the rest of them,
guess what are they? The amazing and fabulous.
I hate to say it, but it gives a couple more of their members a chance to shine.
It does.
Which I hate to say, because I don't want to throw Garm on the bus more so, but, like, a couple of their members I think are definitely going to get more attention now because of,
I mean, the group did go from, I mean, it's already a small group. The group did go from 6 to 5, which, like, in a group that small exponentially raises your lines if one person
eventually
leaves.
I think most people are going to forget Garm was even in the fucking group in the first place.
I mean, she was only in it for 18 days.
I know. She was only on the DVD.
Probably, she leaves the group, I think, a good month after that, but, like, only in the group for 18 days.
Yeah.
Which is so sad.
Yeah.
But you know what? The girls, it's so sad, but also I'm just happy that Lee Seraphim came back. People still love the group, which I'm very happy about. This didn't necessarily super, like, hurt their long-term prospects, which would have been just, like, I don't know. If it were to all, like, she would have had left and the group were to have suffered, that would have just been insult to injury.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just happy that, frankly, Chaewon and Sakura, and even Yoonjin as well, get, like, a chance to, like, do this shit again. And actually get to be in a group, and actually, like, not like a temporary group, not like some rotating massive group where you're, like, a nobody in the sea. You get to do this thing again, and, like,
I'm just happy. I mean, Chaewon was going to, Willem was going to do something with her,
Chaewon is a fucking boss ass bitch.
Thrive.
Yes.
But, like, I'm just so happy
on
Sakura
fire.
at her age is able to debut, like,
I know.
one more time and just have this stable career now.
I know. She jokingly put, she's like, yeah, this is going to be the last one. The last group.
I mean, I sure as hell hope it is for her sake.
I mean, for her, I hope she's able to do streaming video games again at some point. I don't know when.
I mean, she can do that after this.
I don't know when Source is going to let her do that, but I hope she gets to do that again.
I mean, I don't think, like, I think within, like, the next couple of years,
probably.
If she wants to
I also hope that she'll get more
variety
variety chances, because she was pretty often on, like, Japanese variety. So if anything, I hope for her she gets a chance to double dip in Korea and Japan.
Yeah, good
does
for
a
her.
streaming thing.
Again,
does some modeling shit. Call it a day.
I think that. I also think that Hybe, I think because of a lot of BTS issues, a lot of extremely, like, problematic things BTS did when they were, like, new goo rookies, Hybe is very selective on what variety shows their groups go on,
Yes.
which I think is good for them because there's a lot of variety shows that are not good.
That, and also they have other shit to do too.
And they have other things to do, and they're able to like mainly focus on what they want. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, live their best lives. I'm very happy for Lee Seraphim. The situation was shit, and it's like the only real big scandal that Hybe has ever had to go through. And truly looking at it,
Well, there's like one more.
what more?
Kind of.
Like, kind of, but like
Kind
this
of.
is the only like big scandal.
Yeah, this was
scandal.
pretty big. And I think Hybe did the best they could with
They did
how
the best.
kind of
Honestly,
chaotic
this-
it became.
In a weird way, it almost makes me respect him more because it would be easy to. The easy way out is throw her under the bus. The easy way out is let it go. It's a rookie debut girl group. One member can leave. How often does that happen? That a member leaves immediately after like one or two comebacks,
Yeah.
personal reasons or whatever.
And also, I do want to say too, for all the people that are just like, why are they defending her? Is she from a wealthy family? It's like, bitch, if she was wealthy, this whole situation would not have come about.
Would have
in the
never
first
come
place.
out.
Wouldn't have had bullying on
Because
her
they would have
record
paid her an
if she
NDA to
wasn't
keep
from a
that
wealthy
shit
family.
on lock silent.
No. If she would have been from a wealthy family, there never would have been an official school.
She wouldn't have had it on her record.
There would not-
on
there
would
her
have
been
school
on the record.
if she was a wealthy family. Yeah.
It's not even because like the reason that it was considered like confidential quote is not because anyone paid for it to
Because
be
she was
like hidden
12
away.
years
It's
old.
because all of them are minors.
And it
Literally
involved
everyone
other
in
people
that story
besides
are
her.
minors. And all of them were very much minors. They're 12. They're such minors. They're basically babies.
Yeah, 12-year-olds don't always make the best decisions when it comes to
No, and like
handling
12-year-olds are
people.
little vindictive little shits. I was 12.
Yeah.
I agree. Like that's what I was.
Yeah.
Like 12-year-olds make bad decisions. Your brain's not developed.
To quote someone in a K-pop Discord where and he was like, one of my favorite things is when he said he's like, I threw a rock at a kid's head when I was 12 years old and he had to go to the
Well,
hospital
yeah.
and get stitches, and that made me an awful person for the rest of my life.
Fair enough. No. I remember when I was in school once, I remember we were throwing snowballs and someone threw a snowball that had a rock in it at somebody. And that's why that's why our school said no more snowballs. We're done. I remember dodgeball. We would aim for the face. That's why we couldn't play dodgeball anymore. Are we terrible people? I don't know. Are we 12? Yes.
Basically, yeah. And also, like, I mean, to be fair, I also did have to deal with a bully when I was 12, and, like, girls can
I
be
mean,
fucking
I think
vicious. So, like, in a way, I
girls-
kind of understand it, but also, like, I
understand
know
it,
that
but,
the
like,
person who
here's the
bullied
thing.
me is a totally, in theory, I hope so, has grown and probably would not do shit like that again, you know?
Here's the thing, it's
and I don't hold
specifically
it
that
against her.
Garum situation.
Yeah.
Even if I had been bullied by this person, who there are so many rumors about that girl that were such bullshit too.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll talk about that in an episode next year.
Oh,
But
yeah.
even if she was a bully, am I gonna? The amount of time that it would take to go to all these, like, it would need to be. I was bullied as a child. It would need to be the most, like, I would need to think that they were some sort of murderer for me to take time out of my life to go try to ruin my bully's future career
Oh, yeah.
prospects. Like, what are you doing? And it wasn't even true.
No.
Literally, it's
My
like...
God.
Like, how vicious of a
this girl
person
would-
are
this
you
girl would
to,
need-
like,
this-
literally ruin a career prospect over
This
because your
person would
petty
need
ass
to
got in
have
trouble?
actually this person would need to have actually abused me.
Yeah.
And like even then I'm like, is it worth it?
That's a pretty shitty person. Like, the type,
I
if you're
know.
gonna think about doing shit like that,
That's
Don't.
a vindictive person.
also, like,
Don't.
that's really fucked up.
Also, if you're gonna make up stories, don't.
Because at some point, it's gonna bite you in the ass. At some
All right.
point. Anyways.
So now we go on to
However, Le Seraphim was
the
not the
surprise
only new
girl group.
debut in this whole situation. We had a surprise that happened this year.
We did.
A door decided to knock on our doors, make all doors open for the whole populace. And this is a door is a company, a new company that was created by the one and the only Min Hee-jin, former creative director at SM Entertainment that Hybe purged, and I think is currently Min Hee-jin, I think, is currently also has a position under Hybe as well, besides being in charge of a door. But yeah, so basically, July 1st, out of nowhere, literally, they drop a music video for a song called Attention by a group called New Jeans. Yep, and the next day they literally released the lineup. Turns out all of them are minors by Korean standards because the Korean adult age in Korea is 19. So they're all minors technically, even though, was it Minji's 18 technically? And well, yeah. But
also,
anyways.
as a thing, Min Hee-jin is the chief brand officer of Hybe in 2019.
Huh.
Yeah, there we go. Chief brand
that's
officer.
her.
I think she's still chief brand officer.
I believe she is because she oversaw the company becoming Hybe from Big Hit. She was overseeing the rebranding.
Yeah. So yeah.
To Hybe.
I think she's still chief brand officer though.
I believe she is, but like now that
Now she
Hybe
also
has
has
established
the
itself as
Adores
Hybe,
project.
she's now there's a little less to do as chief brand officer.
Yeah. A little bit. Not as much. But anyways. July 23rd, they also from this lineup and all this other information, it turns out they're gonna release other music videos. July 24th, they release Hype Boy and Intro. But it turns out, when you click the links in the video, whoop-de-doo, there's 4 fucking versions of this music video. And then July 25th, they release the only B-side of this small EP, Hurt. And then August 1st, they release Cookie and the album. And unfortunately, there's controversy with Cookie over the lyrics for the song.
Yes.
And also, it was revealed
I think there's a controversy over just
from
Min Hee-jin as a person
not
as
unintentionally
well.
through snoopers that Min Hee-jin had some questionable art pieces. That people were like, is she a pedophile because she has this art? To which I say, well, we can't really determine that. But
Also,
I mean,
throwing
it is
that
kinda
word
weird.
around as nonchalantly as we do
Yes.
seems, more questionable.
Yes. Weird taste in art, I can agree with that. As for if she's a pedophile because of it, can't really
It's like we're making a
determine
leap
that.
now.
Considering
that's
one
a
of
bit
the
a
art
leap of
pieces
logic.
given to her was from Crystal of SM of a young Brooke Shields. So there you go. Anyways,
So are we now making also conjectures about Crystal?
no, but that's I'm just saying. Is Crystal? Is Crystal?
That's
I don't
what I'm
think
saying.
Crystal
I'm like, are people then implying something about Crystal?
But I will say, there was controversy with the Cookie lyrics. They did put out an explanation on their website.
They put out another long
it was
essay explanation.
something. This is the one controversy I feel like they should have just taken the L for, honestly, and been like, hey, we understand there's an issue with the lyrics. We're sorry. We'll work better in the future.
I mean,
could have
in a
just saved your time, you know?
Yeah.
I think especially my thing with it is I think especially with the nature of the accusation, which is that like, hey, are you pedophiles? You kind of can't just say, no, sorry, we'll do better. I think that they sort of felt that with the nature of the accusations, they kind of had to put out more of a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people might also just read into that.
True.
I think
I don't know.
I think
it's one of
my
those
thing
that I'm
with it is
kind of just like, they try to justify, be like, we
Again,
showed
it
it to
just
all the
seems like-
English people, and they said it wasn't pedophilia. But honestly, even if you take away the word cookie, like as a slang for like a vagina, the other parts
Which,
of the
again,
lyrics honestly kind of made me kind of go, oh,
They're a
you
little
know,
bit weird.
like.
They're definitely questionable.
they're definitely
least in
questionable,
English,
but
they're
I
questionable.
also do not think that like going as far as to use the word pet, which again I love.
I'm just saying pedophile because that's what
YouTube's
people are
immediately
saying on
gonna
the
hate.
internet.
Yeah, YouTube's
I'm
gonna
not
hate
saying
this
she
video
is
about
one.
that.
I'm just saying.
I'm
this is
just
what people
saying
are
that using that word to describe what's going on is such an accusation
Yeah.
that I can see why they're like, we cannot just let this be without saying. And honestly, they took a couple days, but I think it's also to try and get the fucking essay done.
Well, then
Yeah.
also
I
like
think they needed-
there's a really
'Cause they do
strange
admit
like
it-
there's like a very strange contingent of K-pop fans who are like 12 and 13 years old who believe that people over the age of 20 shouldn't listen to K-pop, which is like
Yeah.
very
Which
bizarre.
is
But that
very
does
weird.
exist in the K-pop
Yeah.
like fandom
And I
realm.
also think that
The
like,
way I say it's only a
looking at
problem
it-
if those adults are actively super sexualizing minors, like intentionally, like
Exactly.
posting
And I
to
think
certain
that K-pop-
subreddits that shall not be named and just thirsting
Yes.
over.
Again, I think that
Yeah.
there is definitely issues with the K-pop industry with both the sexualization and also like the 12-year-olds and like there's a lot going on here about the treatment of a lot of people don't view idols as people.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
people. They're human beings. Like they're whatever. There's things that are appropriate, things that are not appropriate.
This is
to
why I
real
also
people.
don't enjoy the people who defend
not
like
little
writing
dolls.
fan fiction about idols because of the
That's
justification that it's like, well, they're not a persona, they're not a real people,
That's
and I'm like,
weird.
well, except for the fact
Stop.
that they are though.
They are real people.
Like, it's a
I
public
have read
persona,
idol
except
fan
they are
fiction, and
real people.
honestly, it makes me uncomfortable because it's like you are writing about real
Leave them
people.
alone. Leave these people.
It's one thing when you're writing about
There's so
fictional,
many fictional
characters.
characters
Yeah,
that
they
you
may
can
be
write
fictional in
fan
your
fiction
story,
about.
but you're basing them off of real life people. Either way,
And also,
so
yeah. But back onto this, I think that like there is, I think, no with what it is. The song is already out there.
yeah.
The mistake has already been made. There's nothing you can do other than the mistake was made. And again, I think that they say nothing, it's a bad look. They say too little, it's a bad look. They might have said too much now, and that's also kind of a bad look.
And the truth of the matter too is, the song itself, if it was given to someone like actually,
no, that song's a banger. If it
the
was
song
given to
is
someone
great,
else,
but
that
I'm
song's a
telling you is
banger.
that Sumin and Beepy did covers of it on SoundCloud. I'm just like, these two would have killed it at this song. This song would have no
The
issues
song
if
is
it was
good,
released by an adult.
but
The fact that everyone,
again,
most of the
if
people were
New
minors in
Jeans-
this
like, here's
group
the thing,
is where
here's
the problem
Here's the thing.
is.
If
Yeah.
New Jeans released this in 3 years, 4 years, I don't know how young New Jeans is.
I don't think there'd be a
forget.
problem.
I don't think there'd be a problem. I
Yeah.
think they just needed to be a little older. And
Yeah.
again, I think the song is actually good. And that's also
I
the
think it's a
problem.
great
is that the
song.
song
Frank
is
did a-
good.
Frank,
That's
the
the
producer,
problem.
Frank did a fucking fantastic job on this,
Like,
and I hope he
that's
gets
the other-
I hope he gets a chance to work with New Jeans again and create a song that
Yeah.
not unfortunately attached to questionable lyrics
This
for the group.
controversy.
Yeah,
But here's the thing with it. I think because of how, again, at the very least with everything else, the only misstep with New Jeans was the lyrics of the song. The actual, because we've seen minors debut minors debut every day in K-pop. You cannot tell me otherwise.
Mhm.
Most groups have minors in them.
yeah.
With the outfits given to New Jeans, with the other attention and hype boys, everything was handled extremely well and nothing weird. It is just
Yeah.
that one thing, which makes me think that, again, if you're going to do this, one, if it almost seems like such a blatant mistake that you would never make it if it was intentional, you know what I mean? Where it's
Right.
like,
Mhm.
it's so blatant. If it was like an intentional thing you're going for, it's not subtle at all. I feel like
Yeah,
you'd be
no.
more subtle if this was intentional.
Yeah.
But like, I do like that they've sort of pivoted. Like, post the whole controversy with Cookie, they stopped promoting that song, and
Well,
they started promoting
They
Hype Boy.
perform it here and there, but like they're not like.
But like, it's not their. But it when they. I think
Also, to
post,
be
like,
fair,
the
Hype
first or
Boy and
second
Attention
week,
got more
they did
views
but
anyway,
also
so
mainly because of the controversy.
yeah.
Also mainly because of the controversy. But
That
they did
too.
stop performing that song on their music shows. They started doing more Attention and more Hype Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Hype Boy itself has gotten into not New Jeans problems, but has gotten other people in problems.
Yes.
We'll get that onto
Oh
next
my
year's
God.
list. Hype Boy got other people. Also, Hype Boy.
I mean,
helped a lot
I
of
will say the
people.
one good thing
Look
about
at
Cookie is
ONF.
that we got the Danielle Shuffle from Cookie, so bless that song for that.
I
We
love
got
the
the
Danielle
Danielle Shuffle. The Danielle Shuffle. Thank God for that. But
Hey, Hype Boy did help out ONF.
true.
Some from military.
Wait, they were the ones that
military.
performed in the military with SF9. Is
Uh-huh.
that right?
ONF and
Oh my
SF9,
God.
Yeah.
It's ONF and In Song of SF9.
That's funny.
Good for them.
They're like, hey, idol group boys, do the dance. Okay.
ONF was also
Look.
just giving like full concerts for the military. It's fine.
That's fair. That's also fair. I mean,
That's
that's what
true.
happens. They all went in together. They
Yeah.
can do whatever they want.
True.
All right, so that's New Jeans. So in 2022, and Team, which is under Hybe Labels Japan, because we need more subsidiaries technically. They are formed through and audition The Howling. They are formed through. I truly think that the way this show was actually put together, which I can speak to, and we haven't had a chance to talk about, was honestly a little bit inspired. So in that show, there are four. Sorry, my brain melted for a minute. There are 4 definitive members of this group. It is all former island members, contestants that didn't win, Kay, Taki, EJ, and Nicholas. All 4 of them have come over here, and they technically do not have to go through a survival show. They're gonna
just
be in
here.
the group. They're just here. They're just fighting for debut. And the way the show is structured, it's them, and I believe it's 15 people total, are here. There's going to be a 9-member group. We don't know that until the finale. And essentially, you have episodes where they are literally just putting different ones of them together and having them perform songs to prove that they should debut. And that's the challenge. And they are just essentially trying out different combinations of boys, and then, all right, cool. When they reach the point that they debut in the second to last episode, great. Now we're going to the finale. And in the finale, they decide who's in the group.
Yep.
No one at any point is competing as a soloist, I have to debut. It is always we have to get the collective group of 15 of us to debut, which I think is a very good way to do this show. Also, at no point, they took fan voting into account, but it was always known that it would be fan voting along with producers, and producers had the majority of the votes.
Yep.
Honestly, I like the way it was done.
It was done very well.
And
I think it was done
and
very
well. And I say
well.
the ones who were ultimately chosen along with the 4 that were already selected.
I like them.
Sounds like they were going good.
I enjoy them. I think that they're now called And Team. Don't know if I love the name, but the people that were chosen, I like them.
I've heard worse
It's
for
not
names.
Everybody. There were worse for names.
There's
Yeah.
definitely worse
I think
names,
Enhypen
it's
is a
fine.
worse name.
Enhypen is a worse name for sure.
I think Enhypen is a worse name.
My point exactly.
But again, is it my favorite lineup? Probably not. But also, the weird thing with the way this show was made is that I can't tell, like, I like the combination of people here. The show was made with the intent of, like, putting different people in a combination and, like, figuring out who works well together, who we like together, who fits into the niches that we need for a K-pop group. Scooter Braun was at the finale. It's where I get the point of stop talking to these boys.
Yes.
You don't know what you're talking about. You have never made a K-pop or J-pop group.
Please go
Oh,
away. Why are you here?
Please go away. By the time this comes out, they will have debuted. When we are recording this, they have not debuted. Honestly, I have full faith it's going to be good. I have ordered the album. Also, if anyone's ever looking to where you can order And Team albums, they don't show up on K-pop stores. CD Japan, guys. Proxy sites are your friend.
Yes.
I like them. I think I'm gonna like the song. We haven't heard any of it, but I'm already in. I'm far too invested in K debuting. This is why I can't watch survival shows as they air. I watched this show as it aired. Entirely because I needed to know if K would debut. I already knew he
You
was in the
already
debut
knew.
lineup.
I was gonna say you
But
already
like,
knew he
I
was gonna
wanted
debut.
I wanted to be sure. You don't know. He was the one person. If he had been in Enhypen, I would have not watched the show. He wasn't, so they kept me. They kept me in.
Well, they also got someone in the group who's Japanese German.
Another
They do.
one.
And also they have so from what I know, most of them are Japanese. Also I didn't realize we didn't know K's real name until like 2 weeks ago
Oh,
after
shit.
this. No one knew what it was,
That's
and
actually- yeah.
I completely forgot that we didn't. I was just like, no, his name is K.
His name is just K.
That's not a
his
name. That's not a name. But what am I saying? There is Nicholas is Taiwanese, so good for him. And EJ is Korean. EJ was one of the Korean members of Island, but now he's over there
In Japan.
in Japan. Good for him. I like it. I'm interested. I'm in. I'm all in. I like them. I think they're going to be good. They're going to, with the fact that they're only available on actual J-pop sites for purchase,
Mhm.
Did you check
They're
the Weverse apps if
they're
sell
on the
there?
Weverse. Yeah, I don't buy from Weverse.
Okay.
Because also I don't get the, like...
Well, I
don't-
haven't
I
bought
don't-
from Weverse either because I think you
haven't
need
bought from
PayPal,
Weverse,
but
I also hear it takes forever.
yeah, fair.
But I buy it from CD Japan. So with the fact that I think that they are going to... with the fact that they're not available on any K-pop sites for purchase, at least at the time that I'm seeing it, they're not available for purchase. This is going to be a pure J-pop group.
Yes.
Do I think that it's going to be a pure J-pop group and that they're going to be making J-pop?
It could
wait,
be the
hold on.
KJ pop, but we'll find out, I
Could
guess.
be the KJ-pop. Actually, I think people are putting them up. I think you can buy them from stores. You just have to look them up.
Hmm.
And honestly, they're very expensive. They're more expensive on the K-pop sites than on CD Japan.
Sad.
Yeah.
CD Japan, you gotta pay like a lot of shipping though.
But like K-pop town, you also have to pay a lot of shipping.
True.
And a lot of that's
And
due
honestly,
to the music laws that they have for artists to
And
get
also,
as much money as they
for
can
what
from the
you-
music.
Yeah,
So-
but like, also looking at it, I think it's a jewel case, and on CD
Yeah, it's
Japan you
probably
get to
jewel
if you
case.
have there's a member version, you can pick the member you get. Also, there's a lot of freebies on CD Japan. Go for there. Honestly, I don't know if the K-pop sites. I just feel like it's got because
Just wish the interface of it would be better because it looks like something from like the early 2000s. This interface.
What?
The interface for CD Japan.
But it works. Maria.
It works, but I'm like,
gotta
it needs a
get-
better
I gotta-
interface.
I gotta get a JO1 album somewhere.
I know, but I wish the interface was better.
Fair. But like
Ugh.
even from K-pop town, I find you can find CD Japan is more. This is gonna be a pure J-pop group. It's gonna be KJ-pop, which I'm excited about because I don't think Hybe is really just gonna be out here making like full J-pop,
Like full,
not like Snowman.
Exile, Snowman style J-pop.
I mean, we'll find out. They
Absolutely
could
not.
be. They could be.
I
but-
mean,
No,
I
well,
will-
it's gonna be a no because they're not gonna make them sing in the horrible nasally style that
They have not
J-pop
sung.
groups
They didn't
sing
sing in the nasally. They were essentially covering other Hybe artists' Japanese songs.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Like they were covering K-pop songs that are in Japanese. That's what they were doing, or covering like a 17 Japanese song or a BTS Japanese song. So I think that is what they're gonna go for, which I like. And honestly, looking at the trailers and everything and the teasers, it doesn't feel like it's gonna be that kind of pure J-poppy J-pop. They're werewolves, which is a fun counteraction with the Enhypen vampires.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll get a webtoon. They should get a webtoon.
Maybe they'll just get put into the Enhypen one.
And they'll get put. It's a crossover
It's a
now.
crossover.
I like it.
Webtoon.
It's a crossover webtoon. I'm excited. I like them already. I'll probably like them when they come out.
I'm reserving more so my judgment for when they actually start to release music. I just
My
want-
thing with it is
as long as the music's out on Spotify or shit, I'm gonna listen to it.
it
so.
should. I mean, I don't think Hybe would do it because I think even their show song is on Spotify, which makes me think that they're just going to be on Spotify like normal.
Yeah, they're as long as they're available wherever else you can listen to the rest of your other music. Dope by
The
me.
thing I am finding some team on K-pop sites. You just have to search for it. They're not going to prompt you with it. All right. So the last technically thing we're going to talk about is not team. Trainee A. Trainee A does not have a debut date. Trainee A does not have.
Nor have they said anything about this trainee A group for
No.
next year per their thing.
But here's the thing: in their community guidelines, in their community post thing, they only really went through like the first 3 or 4 months of Hybe next year, which I think that maybe they're taking a little bit of a break from debuting 3 groups in one calendar year
Mm-hmm.
to maybe give some room to breathe before Trainee A debuts.
Right.
Yeah, they did have.
Also, I don't know if they want to spoil the surprise of Trainee A.
This is true.
I know though that Big Hit was very heavily actively signing up for new trainees this year. So they're
But
still
that's-
recruiting the fuck out. So
But not for Trainee A.
I don't think so, but
Because that would
I do
mean
know that their main
person
kid that they were
needs-
banking on being the producer for the group left the group over some other controversy. he
Leo?
had. Yeah.
Leo was going to be the main
Yeah,
Leo
because he
was
was
fine.
producing for them. I think
Leo
that
was
was what
fine.
was gonna.
But what I'm saying, generally speaking, is one, I think Hybe, a lot of times with their debuts, is very big on surprise.
Yeah.
Look at New Jeans.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they like surprises, so I don't know if they would put out very blatantly of they're debuting in February in November of the year before.
Yeah, the only thing they frankly mentions that the first half of the year there's going to be a new B-Lift lab artist, which you know is going to be Island 2. Whoever group comes out
Which
of Island
needs
2, it's
to-
going to be that.
Which needs to air first. but
Yeah,
they're in
that needs to
production
air
for it.
first.
But if it
They
goes
talked about a new
by
Pledis
Enhypen-
group.
If it goes by Enhypen timeline, it'll air, and then maybe 3 months later, you'll have the group.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened then. It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, because I thought about it. I'm like, they're going to probably want to have another girl group out there soon, so. Maybe.
I mean, they don't really need one. They have
They don't
two
need one,
within
but they're
the
gonna
span
put
of
one under
calendar
for
year.
Islands.
Two
They're gonna put
groups
one
that are
under
both
Islands.
massively successful within one
Yeah,
calendar
they
year.
have two of the most massive.
They want to perform a hat trick, don't you know, Sammy? They want to do the fucking hat trick.
They want a hat
of
trick?
Korean
Well,
girls.
it's not a hat trick because they have a boy group in the middle of that.
Well, 3 girl groups though. Like it won't be a full on back to back to back, but they'll be
Again,
at least
I
another
think
girl
that they're
group.
trying to get they have a super successful roster, but they're also trying to like expand. And I think now with the amount of money they have, they're doing well to expand. They're gonna have the new Pledis group, which might have Daniel in it from Island. I don't know if he's still under Pledis, but at one point I think there's rumors he signed under Pledis after Island, which, you know, I love that for him. I
Mhm.
want Daniel back. He was a sweet boy. So,
But yeah,
thing
no, and Team A is interesting because it's like a group of trainees on their big hip. They've allowed to like film themselves and
Yeah,
record
they've
themselves,
done
and
a lot of-
they sent them to the States. They sent them to.
they did a lot of stuff in the States.
Yeah.
I think that, again, I think there might be a little bit of like retooling of the group after Leo leaving. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to add a full other person that they just signed to the company. That feels like that's not going to happen. Either it's going to be like a reserve, like a trainee that they just haven't put in anything yet, or it's going to just be a 6-member group, because it was going to be a 7-member group, and this is again the case of, is it going to be baby BTS? I'm like, we've done
Again.
this already, guys.
Again.
I know the
How
the
many
pre-debut
times?
work.
How many times are we gonna do? Are we gonna do it until it happens?
Yeah.
I have a sinking feeling though, Big Hit would like to have a group that's kind of self-producing because I think take Stray Kids, they're super successful being self-producing. I'm pretty sure that's something Big Hit probably really wants to try at some point.
I think that they.
I could see
will.
them wanting to have that though.
Yes, but also I think that much like a lot of these, they probably do. But also, I don't think they're gonna force it.
Yeah.
I think that you need that to happen
yeah.
organically, and I don't think they're stupid enough to force it.
No, they're not going to force
Like if Trainee A does become a not self-producing, because I don't know that for a fact that they're not going to now be self-producing. I know Leo did produce, but I didn't know if any of the other ones were also involved in the production, because I do think
Chan can produce.
Yeah.
but I think it's
I would
mainly for
assume
him.
that he also can, yeah.
yeah, I just assumed that it was both of them, because the other thing with it is that a group that has multiple self-producing members, infinitely always a better idea than a group with one self-producing member who has full control.
Yeah.
We maintained that as the knee slapper policy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Even like BTS has like multiple self-producing members. Like there are multiple people. And it's one of them is not in an infinitely higher status of production than the others.
Right.
No.
But I don't know. I think that I don't think Hybe is stupid enough to force it. But that's Hybe. We talked for a very long time about
That's
a group
Hybe
with
for
not much
now.
going on. That's Hybe for now. We will be back with more Hybe.
Yes.
There's always more
An
Hybe to
enti-
talk
for an
about.
entire
Please, they're
month
talking
next
about
year.
New Jeans having a new single on December 19th, and then a
They
new
are having a new
album
single.
in January. Kick
And then
off the new
Lee
year with
Seraphim's
a
going
pair
on
of
tour.
new jeans. Woo!
Lee Seraphim's going on tour.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going on tour.
There's going to be more comebacks for everybody.
Yay.
More comebacks,
gonna
more
be more
content. The Hybe
The-
train is just chugging along.
And the Hybe train does not look like it's stopping. Everyone seems happy.
This is
which
like a
good.
Shinsaken here. This Hybe train is a full-ass Shinsaken. This is a snow piercer. This is just
Hell yeah.
going.
We're going to keep going.
Chugging along. Chugga, 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 choo-choo. Attention all
I love
Hybe
it.
whores, let's go.
Oh, the Hybe horse. We're going to have so much fun
I'm
on
gonna,
the Hybe horse episode.
I'm gonna, yeah. I might milk that to death a little bit. But yeah, that's
All
Hybe.
right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Honestly, what do we do?
part of it is still that they're still kind of fresh in a way.
They are,
but they
look,
haven't severely
look
fucked
at
it
the
up,
amount
which is good.
that we-
Look at the
talked
amount
about
of no
more artists.
scandals there have been in this
And
company.
also, look at the amount of just groups.
Massively
There are
successful
companies
groups.
with half the amount of groups that we talked for an hour about their scandals. What do we do?
We've talked about this before. I think we have to give them the highest score of a company.
Do we give them the coveted 9.9?
9.9 or 9.7?
9.9. Because we can't prove that
they're
the
not.
other one didn't have shady shit going on. Because we don't
That's
know
what I'm
Chinese.
saying.
It has to be higher than a 9.5, but it can't be a 10
Exactly.
because we don't want to give out a 10.
We don't give out 10s, so a 9.9
9.9.
wink wink. It's a 9.9 wink wink
Mm-hmm.
for Hybe. That's a great way to end
It
the season,
truly
guys.
is. With a 10, essentially a 10. Do you want to just
so
re-go
for
over
the
all
season
of our
finale?
let's re-go over all of our companies
Shall
in a
we
row.
go through it up or down?
Go down. Let's go down,
Okay.
worst to best.
Barrel scraping company.
So up.
Up.
Yep. So at
We
12th
go
place,
up,
dead last, we got Cube Entertainment with a 3.5.
Ugh.
Yes.
Awful.
Ugh.
Yes.
Ugh.
Awful.
Gross.
At 11th place, we got SM with a 4.0.
Ugh.
Awful.
Ugh.
We got 10th with we're at the top 10. Jellyfish with a 4.5. YG with a 5.5. JYP with a 6.5. Fantasia with a 7.5. And then in 6th place, we have Starship with an 8. 5th is Woollim with an 8. 4th is RBW with an 8. 3rd, top three best companies we reviewed this year are 3rd place is FNC with a 9. 2nd place is Yeahua Entertainment with a 9.5. And then number 1 is Hybe Labels with a 9.9. Woo.
Whoop-de-doo.
Woo.
They're great.
Yes.
Honestly. What more can you say with a company with that's... Other companies would have crashed and burned.
I know.
Happy they didn't.
They stood up and
They're
handled
still
the
here.
fucking pressure when they needed to.
Hell yeah.
You delivered
PD,
when you
an
needed
icon.
to deliver.
Bang PD, an icon of our time.
Devoted to his work, that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, damn.
So
So
yeah,
that's the episode.
that's the end of this year's company reviews as well.
Whoa.
We will have more, but less often next year.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
not have
we're
one
probably
of
not
them
going to
next
get to
year.
any till like the second half of next year. So
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
yeah, second half of next year,
Next
probably
year,
a
podcast
handful.
schedule
but that's
already
it.
fucking packed full of stuff. So
Yeah, we haven't
gotta
booked till
fit
like
in
July
the
at
Hybe
least.
Wars
So
month somewhere. We
I
can't
think we
do
have it
company
booked
reviews.
to October of next year.
We are booked till October. At least mid to September.
Yeah. Many exciting things to come
we
in the future.
plan ahead.
But anyway,
really do.
we are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We also have a YouTube channel where you can find all of our episodes along with fun clip videos occasionally as well. Yeah. And with that, we will see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye.
Bye bye.